I'll go ahead anyway. Can't see the monkeys. Okay, be in the right spot. Good morning. All right. Let me see. Oh. Good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry. It pops up when people like and share the video. Thank you for liking and sharing. Good morning, Susan. Susan, I don't want to get you in trouble this morning, but all right. Good morning, monkeys. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Susan, all right. I'm just gonna say it. I ain't looking. Not looking. Susan, I love you to death, girl. I do. But she wished me, for Christmas I had a girlfriend. I guess a girlfriend or something. Weird stuff happened on my thread this morning. I don't know what the hell was going on. What y'all drinking? I wish that I get a girlfriend and a warm fire or something for Christmas. I was like, Susan, girl, I'm not really looking. Usually when you look for things, you tend to find things you don't want. And I don't know how that applies to the background. But between that and I think Brother Walter told me I need to stop drinking coffee because it's even year? It's an even year, so coffee's not healthy for us again. Good morning, people. I don't know. I think when you look for things, you tend to prioritize what you want instead of what you need. I'm not a looker. I don't look for stuff like that. It reminds me of going to church. You go to church, everybody's always trying to hook you up with somebody because single people are obviously broken. And I'm not broken. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. You know what? For Christmas, you know what I got? I got some junipers, some lantana, and a cup of coffee. So Walter, you can go ahead and take that coffee as poison stuff and put it somewhere. I'm not interested. If people can have oligarchy, goodness gracious, I can have my coffee. Good morning, monkeys. How y'all doing? 98% Monkey Mondays. Good morning. I look for freedom. That's what I look for. I look for freedom. And it's not a thing that we shouldn't be together, stuff like that. I'm just saying that if you're not happy in your own life, don't look for other people. That's all I'm saying. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm going to say something else. If you're not happy in your own life, don't spread that misery on somebody else like butter on a bread. Don't do it. Get off of them dating websites. I'm sorry. Get off. I'm saying. No, I'm happy. I don't need, if that happens, Susan, it happens. I'm just not looking because the monkeys, what happens when the monkey go out looking? The monkey's looking for something. He gonna find something he don't want. I don't know how that fit in. That kind of fit in. Because I got the dung beetle up there because I was thinking about Monday, y'all going to work, people getting their bagels and coffee, starting to roll up the pool for the Rothschild, Rockefellers, and the banks that run everything in a world where most people are depressed. The antidepressants voting every damn day. That's the vote I care about. That's the vote that matters. Can we talk about that vote? Can we talk about the antidepressant vote? The antidepressant sales through the roof. Alcohol through the roof. Schedule 1 through the roof. All the things that make people forget about this world, this forced labor colony that y'all like to call an unsociety. I think the antidepressant sales voted. They voted that people don't like this crap. They don't like forced labor. I don't think that they want to continue with it. Well, you know what I want on the 13th day of Christmas? You know, dummy, it's only 12 days. Damn it, I guess. It's a Nazi holiday. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Now, if y'all make stuff up, I can make up stuff too. 13th day of Christmas, I just want people to read. On the 13th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Monkeys fighting oligarchy. Can we do that? Can we do that ever? Can we do that? Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? 90% Monkey Mondays. Good morning. All right. Now I feel like I'm Robin Williams and y'all done killed him. Yes, I blamed y'all for killing Robin Williams, one of our greatest. Now I gotta watch. I took the kids. We go see yesterday. Late movie. I'm a bad father. I'm a horrible parent because I don't care nothing about your school system, and it's horrible. I should, but I don't. We took them real late to go see Jumanji. Went to go see Jumanji with who was it? Robin Williams wasn't in it. He was in the original, but y'all killed him. He was trying to make y'all laugh. Y'all stressed the man out. Y'all killed him. Y'all kill everybody. I'm sick of y'all's forced labor. But anyway. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Anybody get any bananas? Anybody sharing bananas? Y'all sharing bananas? Anybody sharing? You know what I was looking at a little bit this morning? I was looking at the Comanches. I'm gonna talk about the Comanches. You know what I'm gonna talk about for a minute? I'm gonna talk about colonization. I think we need to, because people still don't seem to understand how this works. If you get technology that the monkeys around you don't have, that monkey will take that technology and beat the hell out of the people next to him. Has nothing to do with their race, their ethnicity, the skin color, what the feet look like, if they got two of them, the eyes, the hair. If you discover Greek fire, you're gonna burn the people next to you. That's how it works. Doesn't matter who you are. Don't say the British colonized the world. Shut up. They just got guns first. They went to China and stole some fireworks and put them on ships, right? The zoos, what do? They got bigger spears. What do? They stuck the hell out of their neighbor. The British shot everybody they could find, colonized everything. The Huns, they had the horses, right? The Huns and the Comanches. They got on the horses first, which is interesting because the Spanish, they had the guns too because they was following Britain. They got here, they dropped off the horses, and the Comanches like, horses! They got the horses, and they became like a raiding tribe of people. Like, we like to pretend. We like to go back and say, hey, British, they're just horrible people. No, everybody with technology you don't have going to become a horrible person. Just how it works. How it works in monkey world, because everybody wants bananas, and technology makes men monsters. Secret technology makes men super monsters. Secret technology with voting populations, oh my God, we got the end of the world coming. All right, so that's why I don't do the identities. I'm done with that. Comanches were vicious. They had the horses. Oh, they were just raiding, and the Apaches was fighting back. And yes, I can talk about this, damn it, because I'm part Cherokee. I don't know nothing about Cherokee, but I love them to death. I can talk about anything I want to talk. I don't really care about y'all's appropriation. I'm related to everybody on the planet, so I really don't give two damns what you think I can't talk about. Oh, it was because a guy wrote a book. It was on my CIA timeline. It was on my Google timeline. Joe Rogan interviewed, what's this dude's name? Y'all gotta watch it. I gotta post him. He was just talking about how vicious the Comanches were, just grabbing little white girls, cutting their scalps off and raping them and bringing them in their tribes and killing all the men. The men had no chance. Y'all didn't make it. The Comanches, when they came for you, they had the horses. They would come in, kill the men, grab a few of the women, kill the rest of them, and take them back to their tribe. And that's just how it worked out. You know why? Because they had technology the Utes didn't have. They had technology the Apaches didn't have. Just like British did it to Ireland and Scotland and Germany. You develop a technology your neighbors don't have, they're gonna take that technology and kill everybody around them. That's why I don't think it's a good idea for y'all to have secret governments. That's what I think. I don't think that's a good idea, because we up busy. Here you on Monday right there. See that dookie ball right there? The dung beetle, which could levitate, that nobody told you about from the Egyptians. Y'all out there rolling dookie balls. Yeah, everybody right now, you're trying to get like, I wonder how they start out. Get like a little pebble or something, because you know I like how you got to use something to get an aggregate happening. And everybody Monday morning got your bagels and coffee, your donuts, and they get rolling that dookie ball up for these billionaires in a forced labor society so they can develop secret technology. So they can go off and murder a bunch of people, and you're like, yeah, America! And when they're done with it, they come back to murder you, and it's just how it works. I had to get that out. So what important work are what we doing today? What y'all doing? Yes, I did. Yes, I called your career dookie ball. I did that. I'm sorry. It is. You're not doing what you want to do. You're doing, you know why people play the lottery? The people play the lottery for the same reason they do Schedule I drugs and take pharmaceuticals to open their eyes and get up in the morning. You know why? Because you're not doing what you want to do. That's why people play the lottery, because you hate this world. Just say it out loud, nothing wrong with it. Just say, I hate my society. It's modeled for you to hate it, but it's indoctrinated to make you stupid enough to support it. All right, I'm done. That's all I want, 13-day career. I want to look at the news today. Oh, what's that? Oh, good morning, Susan. I didn't greet nobody, did I? I know, it sent me off. Because Susan came in the room first, and I was just like, on the first day of Christmas, she wants me to have a girlfriend and a fight. Is something wrong with me? Is y'all not telling me something? Y'all not it's like a little secret going around, like, yeah, that man, he need to get some. He need to find wrong now. Listen, I'm trying to save the world. Like I told people, why do I post a lot? I post a lot because we got work to do. We got work to do. We got work to do as a society, a people, a human race. We got a lot of work to do. I had to explain to people this weekend. So why are you always talking about leaders and politicians? I'm not. I literally am not. They're just in the way. I'm like, don't bomb children. And y'all want to go off and bomb children. I'm like, no, don't bomb children. Doesn't matter who's bombing the children. Like, it's insane. If you know what, do this. If you don't want me to talk about your Bernie Sanders and your Donald Trumps and your Barack Obamas and anybody, I don't know, whoever's butt you're kissing this year, just tell them to stop bombing children. Then I'll talk about somebody else bombing children. Can we do that? Can we do that ever? You know, if we do that, then my goodness, you wouldn't be mad at me all the damn time, cussing me out. And where Walter at? He bring it down. I'm a little upset with him. So Susan on my list today, or she on my list. All right, come on, how everybody doing? No, I don't need nothing. I'm good, Susan. Oh, I didn't post. I gotta post this. Hang on. The 13th day of Christmas, my true love that I don't have and I don't need. But if she come around, hey girl, how you doing? But she ain't around, so I don't need it. You know, when you are whole, you can bring other people in your life and share your whole. But when you're partial and the a-hole, because that's what it is when you're broken. People carry that baggage from marriage to marriage, relationship to relationship, broken down, want to break somebody else down to, want to share that brokenness. You know, and when you're whole, you can share a hole. When you're a-hole, that was last week's video. Bent, Broke, Twisted, the name of that movie where the women was killing the husbands. It's not funny. I don't know why that's so funny to me. There's something wrong with me. I know that's why we said that you need a girlfriend. You sound like my mother. Sound like people in church. That's why I don't even go to church no more, because they always think, bro, you want me to be miserable as you are. You go to church, the pastor like, oh, the single people stand up. And they would do it to the men too, which is crazy. What the hell is wrong with these? That's why I don't go to church. That's why it's a couple of reasons why I don't go. They actually don't know what Yeshua said. They still call him Jesus. And the kings and colonized changed once. Hang on, wait. So I don't go to church. They're always trying to hook people up with people. Nah, I don't need to be broken like you. I get that. No, you going through half the choir, Pastor. You can start a basketball team with the kids you had outside your marriage. No. Misery. That's just what misery is. And I ain't judging you, Pastor. I don't judge nobody. People do what they got to do to find happiness. I have a friend who used to say it this way. You got to carve out happiness in this world. And I agreed with him. I don't agree with him no more. Now I understand how the world works. Now I listen to my friends who realize that money makes everything go round, not my votes. Now I've figured that out. No, you don't need to carve out no happiness. Nope, you don't need to do that. You don't. Because they're going to convince you're a Comanche. You got to go fight somebody else for their bananas. You're black or you're white or you're Indian or whatever you are. And you got to be mad at somebody from 200 years ago instead of what's enslaving us right now. All right? I don't know. I just saw some starving black kids and I got to post it, I think. It's from 2 years ago. I'm going to see if I agree with this. Let me see. I don't know. You know what I do? Here's what I do. I get these, can I show? I can't show it to you on there. I get these things on my phone. Look at that. I don't know. I see starving black kids. I don't see the meme. It kind of looked like it's bad grammar, so some little misspelling. So it's probably my meme. And I think I should post it. Hang on, let me see. We all have a world full of children. Yes, we do. Some live only in our houses, but all need to live in our hearts. Oh, hell yeah, I'm posting that. Hell yeah, I agree with that. That was Gerard from 2 years ago. I agree with him. I agree with him that day. I disagree with him most days because I read. I read and do research, so I'm constantly evolving. I'm never done. Are you done? Is anybody done? I don't think you should be done. I think you should keep moving forward. I think you should continue to evolve and get better and better. Lord have mercy, here comes Danny. Everybody hide your sons. All right, anyway. I got that out. See, that wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I just had to get it out. Good morning, how y'all doing? Let me read some comments. And I do want to look. I haven't seen the news. It's been about 2 weeks now. The world could be over and I would have no idea. Let me change the music, look at some comments, and we'll see what's going on. What's going on? What do I need to be working? Oh, I asked the question this morning too. If you own Facebook, what would you do? I'm just curious. I don't know. I ask questions because I want to know what's on y'all's mind. If you own the biggest social media website in the world, what would you do with it? I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts of what I'd do with it. I'm just curious what you would do with it. Let me bring the comments up over here. I can't believe he told me I need to stop drinking coffee. What the hell is wrong with you? I tried to report his post. How come where's Mark Zuckerberg then? Calling coffee a drug, saying people shouldn't drink coffee. That's hate speech. That's the only hate speech I want. I don't want to see. Everything else I want to see. I don't want to see that kind of Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what I'm fine with everything else, but don't tell me what to do. You can hate me for my skin, my eyes, my hair, my feet, what I do for a living. You can hate me for anything. You can hate me because I don't like your war criminals. You can hate me because I tell you the truth about history that doesn't fit with the narrative you were given. Who tagged me in that? Who got in trouble this week? That's Brother Travis. Brother Travis got it. Travis, he was talking about knocking statues down. He didn't have the right skin color privilege to knock statues down and erase history. And so he got in a little bit of trouble. And did he tag? I don't know if he tagged me or not. But I had to go over there. Because you know why? I certain things I can say that he can't say that people can hear. Because we all a bunch of 98% stupid monkeys and we still believe in skin colors. We had to go through the whole Robert E. Lee thing. We had to. I'm sorry. It's just real. It's true. The history is not black and white because you need to find some bananas and rob them from somebody else. You can go dig in your anus all you can go dig in your anus for history all you want. History is a lie. It's always been a lie to make you stupid to roll up some dookie balls. That's why. That's it. They want to make you a dung beetle. Let me get rid of that because that's nasty. Nobody like that in the morning. I know. Who in the world would start a conversation with dung beetles and dookie balls and compare that to doctors and lawyers? People went to school for for decades and decades to become official. I don't, I think kids get more education in nature than they do in school and college and everything else. All right, anyway, how y'all doing this morning? Good morning. Who is that? Rosebud's for everyone. Yes, see the Rosebud's. Bro, how light are you? Bro, how light are you? Oh, I'm not broken. I'm not broken. So I don't need anything to complete me. See that? I think that's what I was trying to tell Susan. Susan's still here. She ain't get mad at me yet. Susan, let me clarify. All right, because I want people to really understand what I'm saying. When I said I don't trust anybody, I meant it. I don't trust I don't trust nobody. You're 98% monkeys, but I don't even trust me. So it's not like a angry thing. It's not. It's just an understanding. We are 98% monkeys. We're lied to about history. We're in conflict over bananas. It's not a personal thing. I just don't think that everybody knows who they are. I barely know who I am. I don't trust me. And there you go. I don't trust me with a girlfriend. How about that? There you go, Susan. Take that to the bank. I don't trust me because I'm a man. And men, we have things and women have things. And when you put those things together, the man loses mind. So you gotta be careful with them things. People got things. And I want to be in control of me. I don't want to be enslaved by oligarchy or chip tea. All right, I'm done with that. We're not going to. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's great because that's what runs the world. I'm sorry. I know we like bananas. We do. Yes, we like shiny stuff. We do. We like diamonds and gold. We like all that. But whatever God is, made sure. Say, all right, now we're gonna do this because that's how God works. God up there. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna say it. God's like, you know what? If we're gonna give muscles and more structure to the dumb one, we gotta give something to the other one because this ain't gonna go well. You can't give all the muscles to the stupid, the dumb ones with the club and sticks that like to fight and do dumb things. That like, you gotta give something to that one, to the other one, to give them a little more control. And that's why I think everything's in balance, like a yin and a yang. It's a yin and a yang. So one developed to be a little smarter, and the other developed, I don't know, like plug holes anywhere he finds them. All right, done with that. Not going down that road. Good morning. It's Monday morning. Can't do that. Good thing. Good morning, Courtney. Good thing the child haters aren't real. Yeah, that's the thing, Courtney. I think people that drop buildings on kids are bad people. It has nothing to do with politicians. I got nothing to do with your leaders, people like to worship. I just think hurt children is a bad idea. And if saying that means that your leader gets in the way of that, then I don't think that problem is with me. I think that problem is probably with you. That's what I think. And I know that you think you're right. And that's why I don't really, this is weird. It's just all weird. Because everybody thinks they're right, but we lack that little piece of information to allow us to do the correct thing. And that is, if my politician wants to give me health care by bombing babies, maybe that health care isn't such a good thing. Maybe I need to start a garden, grow some food. Maybe I need to stop eating Twinkies every morning. Maybe I need to stop with the bagels. And maybe that's a better solution. But everybody misses that last little piece of information. And kids, I think, are the whole thing. Kids are the most important thing on this planet. That's why mine probably sleep at school today right now. Because I took them to go see Jumanji last night. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. Coupling means you change. Ooh, that's true, Lori. And we just talked about that, so I'm not gonna go back down that road. We change. Yes, we do change. We do change. Because when men make that decision, say, you know what, you the only one. You's the onlyest ones I'm gonna get that's from. It means we gotta take out the trash, we gotta cut the grass. We gotta clean the house. We can't. We gotta fix cars and stuff. That's, to me, that's a form of slavery. That's not for debt and currency. That's for something else. But people do change. That's why, you know what, Lori? How are we in relationships this morning? How did we get here? Susan, she started. But right, Lori, I agree with you. But why do people change? Getting married, getting relationships and stuff. They change because they should. Right? Because two become one. Two supposed to become one. Two not supposed to become the one's one. Two supposed to merge and become one. But they do change. Everybody changes, right? But you need to be whole before you change. And that's my point. I'm glad you said that. You need to be whole before you change. You have no business going out getting married till you know who the hell you are. You know what I'm saying? Because people get married, don't know who the hell they are. They don't really know what they need. They know what the television tells them that they want. They go out and get that, and 10 years later, they got 4 kids and going through a divorce. Now, the kids are a product of you not knowing yourself and you not knowing him. Now you can't stand him outside of the fact of the birth control and what it does to people and changes them so women don't even know what they want. They want this kind of guy when they're on birth control. They had the babies with him. They don't like him no more because of his sweat. Read on that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's damn near treason. You letting people put stuff in the medications that make them want this kind of man, and they got babies with that kind of man. You can't stand that man. That ain't no joke. We talked about that a minute ago. So doctor wrote a book on that. Craziness. But yeah, people change. People change. If you don't know who you are, you ain't got no business lying to other people. Lying to other people that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know who you are, then how you gonna be with somebody else? Like, yeah, I don't know how this got started, Susan. Because what is a dating profile? It's a lie. It's a lie. It's false advertisement, if you ask me. One, because the pictures ain't real. I'm going to tell you, you people, the married people, y'all don't know this because y'all, whatever you are, but you hadn't go through this. I went through this form of tyranny. Nobody's who they appear to be in their pictures, and their profile is what they saw on TV. I'm going to tell you right there. It's all a lie. It's all fake advertisement, like the pharmaceutical industry. People running on the beach. You take Xanax, you take Prozac, you take this. Your life's going to be great. You're going to be running on the beach. You're going to find a fine man. You're going to get a fine woman. Drive a nice car house because they put that whole picture thing in the lying commercials like a dating profile. Oh, I like walks on the beach. I like a big, strong man. I like this, and I like to play soccer, and I like this, and I enjoy my career, and I like work. I like forced labor and forced slavery. This is a good thing. I want to get a big house and drive a nice car. And then they start doing some reading, some books where they hide all the real information. They start reading the laws, not the talking points, and they change everything. Like, nope, I own a big house. Nope, I didn't realize that house came from slavery. I don't want that. It's gonna fall down anyway. It's totally toxic. And this is what I'm going through. Who am I talking to? Lori, this is what I'm going through. Because I'm changing. I don't know me. And I'm not gonna lie to somebody like, yeah, I want to go get a job back in corporate America and make as much money as I can and ignore the kids that's having their houses dropped on because somebody's drone bombing because of the industry I work for. No. And that could work for like a rubber band company. That's how it all fits together. I could be working for a rubber band company, writing software, but I'm helping them make better rubber bands. And those rubber bands are being used in some new dark age death technology. What did Ivana send me? The rod of God, the satellite, and the airplanes. They're dropping these steel poles out to blow people up. That damn thing might use rubber bands for my company. So I'm not gonna lie to nobody. Like, oh yeah, I'm okay with this. You make as much as you can. I make as much as I can. We'll just be some apathetic bastards and build a world, have some kids. I ain't had no more kids. I ain't doing that. I got 3 to drive me crazy. That's it. I don't think that if I'm discovering myself and I'm realizing these houses are toxic, they're poisoning people, I don't want to die of cancer. I'm discovering consciousness. Like, I'd like to live in a yurt and cob house in some tropical country, like surrounded by gardens and waterfalls and stuff. And I'm not getting nobody that lied at, oh, how much you make for a living. Like, that's how my dating problem. How did we even get here? That's probably that's why they don't have options. They don't have options for my dating profile. So if I did a date, Susan, why did you start this? But maybe it's something that we need to talk about. I don't know. I feel like I dominate the conversation. I don't like to do that. And maybe if this helps somebody, if it helps somebody, let me know if it helps you. I just think that you need to find yourself first. I think that cheering kids to get married at 26 is a stupid idea. I think we need to be really hesitant. Now, if we're dying at 32, get married at 26. Damn it, I guess you got to get married at 14. But if we're living to be 120, 110, and they got that epigenetic stuff happening at Stanford University, and we're living, and they're saying the first people that are going to live to be 1,000 years old alive right now, that's a lie, because 3,000 years ago they did that. Then the Egyptians said it, and the Sumerians said it, and in the Bible it said it. So we know that people can live that long. But if you're gonna live that long, I think you got a minute. I don't think you need to lie to anybody and get married right now. I think you should wait your time. And they don't have a dating website for me anyway. I don't think there are any options. They're like, well, what do you do for a living? I don't. I don't want to. Well, how much do you make? I'm not going to say, and whatever it is, I'm trying to reduce it, because they ask those questions. What's your favorite sports? Well, the Coliseums are for indoctrinating people. They create tribalism and they make you that way because I played football and soccer and I did these things competing with other people, and it turned me to an apathetic bastard, and I felt that I had to be tribal. And it's just like, there's not an option. I've never seen that option on a dating website. I've never seen anything like that. I don't, So what religion are you? I have no idea. Or what religion are you? All of them. You have a select all button, because I think the Jews are right about some things, the Christians are right about other things. I think the Muslims are right about other things. I know the atheists are right about a lot. I think the spiritual people are right about a lot. I have no idea. So I don't think I fit in. I think that I'm a little too weird, Susan and Lori. Okay, we're done with that. Let's go. Let's get into it. I hope that helps somebody. It helps me. I don't know if it helps you, but it helps me. It helps me because I like to look. You know how they say, what's that saying? This applies to other things, a lot of things, right? Because we look for things and we don't really know we look for what we want. We don't look for what we need, right? So monkey, anus, these two right here, which I love them to death. He's looking for something, but he's getting a whole lot of what he doesn't want. It's like politics. You go to the Democrats, or you go to the Republicans, you go to your government. Well, what's ever happened in your company? You look for one thing, because you know what he's doing? This is a monkey thing. Because monkeys, they sniff each other's butts like dogs do, because he's just looking for food. He's like, well, not for food out of his anus, but he wants to know what he ate, so he knows what's in the area. Same way with the dogs, it's identity. They want to know who you are and what you're eating. And they know there's some berries nearby, because little shards and shells and pieces of berries in his boo-boo. And that's why he's in his anus. And I don't think government for solutions is a good idea. Because you know what? Look how close his nose is. And he probably just picking fleas off. But shut up. I'm going along with this. This is where I'm going with it. He's looking in there. He's getting a little whiff of it, because monkeys don't take baths. And if this is a zoo, it is a zoo. Because look at the log. It's cut off right there. They don't bathe them. They don't shower their monkeys. And so he got monkey anus oil. So he's breathing in a bunch of stuff. And it's like these Democrats and Republicans. They think they're going to do things to help people, but they're getting a whole lot of funk with it. So, yeah, I don't believe in going out looking for stuff. I think things come to you. I think you tell the universe what you want. I was listening to Joe Dispenza this weekend. Y'all should listen to Joe Dispenza. I think you tell the universe what it wants, what you want. That's what I believe. Because it don't make sense. Like, think about scripture. This whole idea about free will. Why would God give you free will and then say, well, let my will be done? That don't make no sense. That's like a contradiction. That doesn't make any sense. And this is why I know they screwed the scriptures up. I know they changed and modified it. But if you got free will, go do your free will. Just follow the rules. Don't kill nobody. Don't hurt nobody. Don't steal from nobody. Don't covet their wife. And don't get a dating profile. Stay single as long as you can. Ignore everybody that's married because they want you in the misery there. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all not married miserable. I just know for me right now, it probably would be miserable. It probably would be. Probably. I don't know. Maybe. You know what? I had a friend that said something wise on it, so we can move on to another topic. He said something wise. He said, when the time is right. No. See, you want the time to be right because you're tired and you're lonely and you don't have like the death of Thanksgiving. And it sounds sad. I go to the movies by myself all the time and it's like, you know what? I'm lonely. I want to bring somebody else into my loneliness and just see if I can ruin their world and make them depressed. Like you don't want to do that. What he said that when the timing is right, no. When the person is right, hopefully the timing is wrong, right? Hopefully you don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you don't want to be. You don't want to be married. You don't want to be, or you're just neutral on it. You're indifferent. And so that way, when the right person comes along, you're not like trying to force something that shouldn't happen. It's just going to happen. When the right person comes along, you're going to be like that little kid in the back of the class where you just can't control yourself. You just, the teacher talking. You're busy writing Tanisha a note. Dang, I got to write Tanisha. I know if I'm getting in trouble, I'm getting detention, but I got to write her this note. And you write the note and you ball it up. And when the teacher turns around, look at the board, you lean back, hit Tanisha in the back, in the back of her head with a note. Because when you get those feelings, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. And that's how I think you know that you got the right person, right? Because you didn't want it. You didn't want him. You didn't want her. You didn't want that thing. You're not in love with being in love. You were just living in love happened. And I believe that that's how it should go. All right. Anyway, unless you're tortured for it, like all these TIs. You know what? See that we were just talking about that. I don't know. Good morning, Sandra. Evolution and elevation in relationships is key. Yes, Sandra, it is. Go on. When one does it and the other doesn't, it's gonna be problematic. Right. See, that's what I was saying, Sandra. So, and this is with political parties. This is with relationships. I'm trying to make it about everything, Sandra, because I'm trying to get off of that route that we're on, because you want to be in sync with what you're supporting. Right? So if you're going to go along with this politics thing, you should look at the politics thing and say, you know what? Is this going the way that I want it to? Does this fit with my ethics and morals? Should we be robbing other people every time we get more technology than what they have because we get secret technology? Should we be like the Huns? Should we be like the British? Should we be like the Italians? Should we be like all the colonizers? Should we be colonizing like the Comanche? Should we be like Shaka Zulu because we got a different type of spirit and military tactics? If they're not going the way you're going, you're not evolving and elevating together, then at some point in time, you need to go see a lawyer about getting a divorce from that party. Maybe you need a separation or something. But you want to be in sync and support things that are in agreement with where you think it should be going. Right? You're going to church and he's going out for beer on Thursdays. Why? Because he didn't know him, you didn't know you. Now he wants to be out with his boys hanging and partying because he missed that part of his life, going to tractor pools and clubs, and your life ain't going that way. That's why I think people need to wait. They need to wait on this political parties. They need to wait on politics. They need to wait on all this groupism and identity and tribalism and marriage and relations. You need to just be patient. You need to be patient. Know who you are. And if you're going in the same direction, you're going to find yourself on that damn train together all the time. Like, dang it, every time I get on this train, like going to slavery, how y'all go, how you commute to work. Like, dang it, every day on the day I get on this train, I see this person going the way I'm going. Huh. Shoes don't match. And kind of put that stuff away. It's like, in life, every time I look around, I see this person. And I think that's what you probably should do is you want to link up with like-minded people going in that direction, but constantly evolve yourself to become better and better, to not be like a 98% monkey digging in other monkeys' booty hole, because that's what the Federal Reserve wants you to do, because that's what central bankers and the colonizers that tend to run every damn thing requires that you do, so they can have a slave plantation, so they can develop the next level of technology, so they can go colonize somebody else. I think the best thing is to find a partner in friendship where you're both committed to growth. Absolutely, Kim, and we're just saying that. Exactly. Yes. Oh my goodness, a yurt. Yes, Georgia. I want to live in a yurt. I want to live in a yurt, and probably not ever going to live in a yurt. But it's what I would love to do, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And most people, there's no option for that on dating websites. Not that I've ever seen. Like, what kind of house you want to live in? Oh, McMansion, 200,000 square feet, you know, this, that, picket fence, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't want a picket fence. I want the howler monkeys in my yard. I want them to come in the yard. I want the deers to walk through. I want to have a big garden and a yurt. And so it just does not fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. They don't have Cobb House as an option anywhere. Gerard, blame it on Obama. What blame Obama? Lots of laughter. Many blame everything on me and Obama. You know what? I don't blame anything on Obama, Susan. I don't think Obama knows himself. I don't think he does. I don't think he knows him because I don't know me. So how could Obama know him? I don't think he knows him. I don't think he does. I don't think Michelle knows her. I don't think Trump knows him. I don't think these people know each other. So I don't think that y'all should be in relationships. You see how that fit in? If you don't know yourself, you need time to yourself. I think Obama needs to go to the movies by himself a little. I think he needs to go in the jungle and find himself, right? I think he needs to think back over his life and 5 million people he murdered. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. So who tagged me now? Travis. So he was talking about the knocking the statue thing down. He got in trouble because he got the wrong skin to talk about that. There's a wrong skin color. And so the lady was like coming at him and eviscerating him, saying all kind of mean things about his mom and grandmom and everybody around him. And because she liked the idea of knocking statues down. Y'all know me. I don't believe in knocking statues down. I believe history is important and they usually lie about it. And it's the only way that we know the directions where we should never go back to. But then I looked at her profile name. Yeah, I mean, she had just have to try. Oh, he got called all kind of KKKs and Nazis and all of this stuff. You know, in the back of my mind, like, you know that we are the Fourth Reich. You get that, right? You get that we just went over there and all the Nazis brought them all over here because central banks were behind them and central banks behind us. They win every war. They just go along with whoever the victors are and they buy out that particular side. But I looked at her name, and y'all not gonna like this. We're gonna watch the view count drop in a minute. I looked at her name, and it was something like Bernie for life, and I was like, okay. I was like, okay. Now let me go to YouTube. Let me find a video listing all the wars he voted for, all the weapons trafficking. And I know it's upsetting people right now, but I talk about this about everybody. It's not the only reason Bernie tends to be on my lips a little more is because people just worshiping him a little more right now. That's all. He's the current god that they're making gold statues to at the moment. I'm like, all the wars you voted for. And so I'm saying, and so I was reading through the comments and I very rarely do I do this because the monkeys, I mean, not when it's like a vicious thing, and it was pretty vicious. But she made a few points and she said, well, because there are people alive who are looking at Robert E. Lee, the statue, and feeling kind of fearful and scared, stuff like that. I made a little bit of it. It was something to that effect. And I'm just like, you know, you got a social media profile with the name Bernie in it. And you know Bernie done burned up a whole bunch of children, grandmamas and babies and granddaughters and all across this world for the wars he voted for. You know you got a war criminal as your profile name. And I don't think people think about that. You got people in other nations and millions of people are seeing your profile. See the view count going down right now? You got millions of people who are looking at the name of somebody who voted for wars that blew up their country, murdered their kids and grandmama and grandbabies and farmers. I think that's a little more important than anybody who's already dead. I think we are lost, but then they blocked them. So, you know, that's kind of how that goes, right? People don't like truthful information. I know Brother Travis probably said what was true and they blocked them. But that's all you can do. You know, and that's a good sign. It's a good sign when people block you. It's a good sign when they start attacking you personally. It means that they understand. It means something's happening in their brain space, like something is starting to happen. Another weird question I had, because like Susan and Lori are letting everybody know I don't have a life. And I was listening to, what's his name? Nassim Haramein. I know it sounds kind of racist, don't it? I know, I can't even pronounce his name. Nassim Haramein, y'all know who I'm talking about. Somebody post his name. I was listening to him this weekend and he was talking about a person that was in a car accident and they lost like 80% of their brain matter or they never had it. And their brain was mostly water. And this person tested just within the realms of normal IQ with 20% brain matter. Blew me away. What does it mean? I have no damn idea. But he has a theory, and it's interesting because we never really know as much as we think we know. Because we're always digging in another, we're always digging in another monkey's, countries or something. But his theory is that this ties in with what Bruce Lipton talks about, where consciousness is a field, right? And you're tapping into that you don't ever die. You don't have to go kill other people for their bananas in their country because you got better technology. That you're a conscious thing, and that if you don't have the neurons and dendrite connections, the stuff I love to talk about that I barely got have an idea about because I'm a computer scientist, not a doctor or brain neuroscientist. But how could a person with only 20% have the same IQ of the average American? That might just be a question I shouldn't have asked. Maybe I shouldn't have asked that one. Oh, that's a 13th day of Christmas. Oh, that's Lord goodness have mercy. But if most Americans are walking around, because what he's saying is that the gray matter is actually, that's not where our intelligence comes from. Powerful question. So anyway, I'm looking more into that. Anyway, let me see what y'all are talking about so we can, except for relationship, marriage, that he needs to get something. None of that. No, we're not doing that. We need to go on to some real topics. It's not a real topic. All right, here we go. I see all kind of stuff. Let me see. The pedo who touched you. Ain't nobody touch me, Kim. I don't let nobody touch me. No, I don't let nobody tell you. Ain't touching me. You ain't touching me. I don't live in their world, Kim. I don't live in their world. Say, well, you know, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. I know. I said last week, supposed to turn the other cheek. Yes, you are. Sometimes they touch it too quick. Then I'll turn the other cheek after I react. No, ain't nobody touching me. Even as a kid, no, I ain't letting that happen. No. Because sometimes you just react. And in some games I don't play. It's like I don't live in their world. I don't live by their laws. I'm not scared of laws. Like, and this isn't going to get me in trouble. That's why they shut my video off this weekend, probably. I don't live by your kings and colonizers and psychopaths laws. I don't. I'm a horrible American. Like George Carlin said, I'm a horrible American. I'm a horrible African American. I'm a horrible Christian. I'm a horrible all of that stuff. Because I don't live by their laws. I don't think they get to tell me what to do. Now, I live in a land where there are things called legislators, and they got a police state, and they will put me in a cage or kill me if I don't do what they think I should do. That's true. But no, I live by my own rules, and so yeah, like I said, I came from a culture we didn't call the police when somebody was hurting a child. That's not my family. We don't call the police when somebody's beating one of our women. That's not my family. And that was back when I had a little family. Now I got 7 billion people in my family. Now we got a problem. When you hurt people, you get hurt. That unfortunately is how it happens. Now I know what the hell I was talking about last week, turn the other cheek. What was I talking? What were we talking about last week? Turn the other cheek. You're supposed to turn the other cheek if you're strong enough. And I'm not strong enough to turn the other cheek when y'all hurt women. I'm not strong enough to keep walking some woman's getting raped in some alleyway or y'all hurt you. I'm not strong enough to keep voting for political parties. They ain't doing nothing to shut down the Epstein Islands around the world because they don't care. I'm not strong enough to do that. I'm pretty weak. I'm pretty weak, and I don't want to vote for people who don't care about Epstein Islands. These political parties protecting the ones who are scared of these elites because they don't know their consciousness comes from a field. That's why I don't think Obama knows himself. I don't think he knows himself. So yeah, I'm not strong enough. I do react. I'd love to say that, oh, I'm nice all the time. No, some people don't get what they deserve. You catch them at the wrong point. And you don't like, my spiritual people probably don't like that, but that's real. You got a yin and a yang. You got sustainable and unsustainable. Call it good and evil if you want. Call an action reaction. All right. Y'all asking me questions. I'm trying to let's look at the news. I don't want to answer questions. Y'all already know what I think. Y'all know what I think. Can we look at the news real quick? Look at the old. I haven't looked at this in like weeks. There could probably be some really important stuff in here. You're like, yeah, okay. No, every now and there is. They might have created a NAWA. I was thinking about NAWA this weekend. NAWA, they need to probably have a NAWA. Like you got a NASA, why not have a NAWA? We know less about the water in the ocean than we do about the daggone moon. We need somebody lying to us about the water too. We got people lying about space. We need people looking for, I don't know, they should go underwater. See if y'all can find some oxygen underwater. Spend billions of dollars looking for oxygen underwater while people are starving in our nation. All right. Oh, impeachment. Oh, somebody said that. Somebody said talking about revolution if they impeach him. Did anyone hear anything about that? There's some Trump voters saying that they're going to revolt if they impeach him. That's supposed to happen. That's supposed to happen. I'm sorry. That's going to be bad. I need to know when it's time to run. Are they getting close to it? Do you think they might impeach him? It's going to be pointless. They ain't going to do nothing. They ain't going to help a damn thing. The bankers could literally don't care. The bankers aren't even watching the impeachment proceedings. They don't care. It's going to write another check, like a brother said. And I agree with him. He said, we need term limits. I agree with you. We need term limits. But do bankers care about term limits? Or do they just change the address on the check? Do the lobbyists? They don't care. So you can change, you can put in all the term limits you want. You can flip all the presidents you want. You can flip all the anuses in those chairs in the offices all you want. They are employees and they're going to do what the money tells them to do. That's why I'm not interested in the political system. But for the sake of entertainment, does it look like it's going to impeach him? Amid impeachment. That's bipartisan trade agreement emerges. Oh, okay, admitted. Okay, so it's during. Okay. Violence in Central America with Oscar Martinez. Well, violence everywhere in Central America is our fault. We had more toys. We had the guns, put them on ships and colonized our owners, our Babylon. Killed everybody for it. Doesn't mean that they're any worse or better than anybody else. Just means that they went to China and got the guns. Like I said, the Zulus got the spears. The Comanches got the horses. Anybody that gets a better technology over everybody else, they try to take care of everybody. They try to take over everybody else. So of course, we're responsible for Central American violence. We can fix it. We're choosing not to. We're pretending that we didn't spill the milk and we spilled the milk. And I'm not saying I spilled the milk. I'm saying that I live in a country that has all the tools and technologies from they raped, looted, and stole all over the world. And Yeshua, some of y'all call him Jesus, said you're supposed to help people, especially if you're thriving on what was stolen from them, to topple their governments and keep them violent. Oh, a heated debate. What they debating? Why GOP and Dems are so far apart? They're not apart. I gotta look at this. Can we look at that? Do anybody got y'all had the patience? I don't know. I think I might have patience to look at that. I'm just curious because they think they're far apart. Why are they so far apart? When were the GOP and the DNC, when were they ever far apart? I think they were far apart in my head back when I believed in this nonsense, but they're not far apart. Can we look at that real quick? I'm just
historic proceeding. The House Judiciary Committee voted to impeach President Trump, which means that next week the entire House will vote on the matter, and if they pass it, Mr. Trump will become only the third president in U.S. history to be impeached, joining Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. Nixon, you might remember, resigned before the vote that probably would have impeached him as well, by the way. The charges against Mr. Trump are, one, that he pressured a foreign leader to investigate his political opponent while withholding millions of dollars in foreign aid. Two,
one, he investigated a foreign leader, something about withholding some. Hang on. I'm gonna look at the charge because I don't even know what the charges are. Y'all, let's go back. I'm gonna hit the charges.
To investigate his political opponent while withholding millions.
Now, I want you to listen to this and ask yourself: has any other president that didn't get impeached do this? Ask yourself: are they gonna put in somebody else who's not gonna do this? Or ask yourself: are they doing it because they want to keep doing it? They just don't like the particular person that's doing it at the moment.
Millions of dollars in foreign aid. Two, that the president obstructed Congress's opponent while withholding millions of dollars in foreign aid. Two, by the way, the charges against Mr. Trump are, one, that he pressured a foreign leader to investigate his political opponent while withholding millions of dollars in foreign aid. Two.
Okay, and what is that? Bribery, right? You're talking about bribery. Has any president ever done that before? Has any Secretary of State ever done that before? Has any other Obamas and Clintons ever? Of course, stop it.
That the president obstructed Congress's investigation. Now, Democrats say, yep.
Has any president or administration ever obstructed an investigation by Congress? It's literally their job. Their job is literally treason. This is not a democracy. This is an oligarchy. They're supposed to do anything they can do to make sure that the spice flows. And in this situation, because we're not doomed, it's oil. Hell yeah. So yeah, I'm not hearing nothing new.
Definitely he did it. Republicans say, no, he did not.
They're lying. Yes, he did, Republicans. Shut up. That's how this is about the whole far apart thing. Let's be honest. No, they all do it. They have all done it. They're all going to keep doing it as long as we remain an oligarchy, because profit determines what we do, period. Republicans don't come in and lie. Y'all thought I was defending Trump. I'm not defending Trump. I'm saying let's just be honest. Just be honest.
Joining us now is RT
Honesty's not in the game. So yeah,
She's been working on this story throughout the day.
There's no grounds for impeachment. I disagree with all of that. There's grounds for impeaching the entire federal government. Yes, there are, but there's no grounds for impeachment. But that's on grounds of Federal Reserve and giving up the ability to print a nation's currency that they had no constitutional right to do. And now stock is owned in our currency, our fiat currency's future, which means the people who own the stock dictate what the nation does. That's why the whole federal government needs to be impeached. But let's see what there's so far.
The House Judiciary Committee voted 23-17 to advance 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump in a Friday morning session following 3 days of meetings. This comes after a 14-hour session on Thursday reached a shocking end with no vote, which was met with immediate protest following Democratic Chairman Jerry Nadler's announcement.
Therefore, the committee will now stand in recess until tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., at which point I will move to divide the question so that each of us may have the opportunity to cast up or down votes on each of the articles of impeachment, and to let history be our judge. The committee is in recess.
Mr. Chairman, there was no consulting from the minority ranking member on your schedule for tomorrow, in which you just blown up schedules for everyone?
While Nadler claimed the goal was to give everyone time to collect their thoughts before a final vote, Republican Congressman and ranking member Doug Collins alleged that the actual goal was to hold the vote at a time when Americans would watch it live on TV.
That was the most Bush League play I have seen in my life, because they want to simply get it back on the cameras because it's after 11 o'clock tonight and they don't think enough people is watching. I have never seen anybody want to get in front of these cameras more than this group right here.
The House Judiciary Committee advanced 2 articles of impeachment which accused Trump of abuse of power, cited by the allegations that he withheld military aid from Ukraine until the country's government agreed to investigate the business dealings of Trump's 2020 rival Joe Biden, and obstruction of Congress, alleging that Trump stalled the House investigation into his conduct. The full House is set to vote as early as next week, with Democrats denying that their motives are anything other than honest. However, Ukrainian President...
All right, I'm done. I can't watch no more. Honesty. Can we talk about honesty in our democracy? I'm just like, oh Lord. I kind of want to watch the rest of it. It is a little funny, a little scary, a little bit. Not well, kind of. It's amazing to me, and it's just like what y'all do to other nations is reprehensible. What y'all do to the children in your own damn nation is completely dishonest, as you send trillions of dollars to other nations. I can't watch any. I think, yeah, I can't. I'm not, I've lied. I lied. I thought I had the patience. I don't have the patience. Be a thorn in the side of hypocrites and charlatans, all right? That's not supporting Trump. And by the way, let me send a shout out. White people, if that's what you is, then please stop saying negative things about Trump so they don't link you up with the racism. Tell them that you don't care. All right, it's all a scam. I need y'all to stop doing that. I need y'all to stop putting negativity in there and saying, oh, get Trump, so they won't call you racist. Dumb people say stupid things, all right? Dumb people say stupid things, and it's important for dumb people to say stupid things. You don't need to continue to do this. You can speak honesty. And because one of my favorites, he still says it. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's just constantly, he's got to start off the gate that, oh, Trump is a racist and a homophobe and da 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 da. And I always ask thinking, well, why is Trump racist? What I don't even know where this came from. Like, when did he get this? You know, and I'm asking a question. Has anybody done the stats yet on who's deported more people from our nation for brown skin than which president did that the most? Last stat I saw, you ain't gonna like it. The last stat I saw, it was not Donald Trump. So you wanna talk about racism in action, not in accusation. The most racist president we've ever had is Barack Obama. Okay? Why? Because when you look at what happened in Africa and you look at how many people he deported, if you want to talk about racism in action, it's the black dude. Why? Because you believe the black dude. That's just how it works, right? And so what is Trump doing? Trump ain't doing nothing. The Trump administration, if you ask me, he ain't doing nothing against black people. In fact, he helped me freeing them out of prison. Okay? He ain't doing nothing in Africa. That's, who put the military in Africa? The brown continent to protect, to prevent them from getting a gold currency to free themselves? Obama. Because people go for that. It's a game. And people don't seem to understand that. Now, who needs to be worried right now with Donald Trump in office is not brown people. It's not immigrants. Who needs to be the most worried is poor whites. Poor whites. Because that's how this system works. Whoever has blind trust for the president, that's who they go for. The administration, not the administration, because they're just a tool. They're just a tool for banks and big corporations. That's who needs to be the most fearful. You know what I heard this weekend? Because I spent a little time on the whole Constitution thing, and I don't know who was talking. They said something to you, and I don't know how true this is. The history of voting, that the first people to vote in this country, the first people allowed to vote were only white male landowners. I found that to be interesting. To me, that's like a hint to who this nation is designed for. And people upset like, yeah, we need to get the whites. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Do you know any white male landowners in America? Currently, everybody who's a white male landowner in America, please raise your hand. Because y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Literally, nobody is white male and own lands. Nobody owns lands at all in America, but a big federal government, which owned by central bankers. But it's interesting because it tells you the design was never for anybody to have any power or control but that top 2%, the top 1%. It's always been controlled. Like they're like, oh, the election machines, they need passwords and they need this and that. We need to fix this and gerrymandering, da da da. I'm like, from the very beginning, it's been controlled. Why do you think it's not controlled now? No matter what they tell you, it's always designed for the people who will uphold the wealthiest of the wealthiest to determine who rules. From the very beginning, they didn't want the poor whites voting. They didn't want no middle class whites vote. They wanted only the landowners voting because they don't like white trash. They don't care nothing about skin color. They care about the people who are propped up high enough on that pyramid to keep the elites at the top, the cabal. That's what it all is. They don't care nothing about power. They did put Shaka Zulu up there if they could, as long as he'd keep everybody down. Because it's always about power. For you, you're emotional. That's why it's always about race. For them, it's just about power and money. All right. So anyway, it's Monday Dookie Ball. I can't watch the rest of this. I don't really care. You know why I'm not watching it? If you show me some Rothschilds and Rockefellers watching the impeachment, then I'll watch it. Okay? They don't care. When you show me some Rothschilds and Rockefellers at the voting booth, all of them, not just the 1 or 2 they put on television to keep you doing it. You show me them voting, the people who have the biggest corporations that are supposedly controlled and affected by the legislation, when you see them voting, then you know voting matters. Then you know that can actually change something. Do you actually think people who can be affected by trillions of dollars, people who could lose trillions, if not billions of dollars from US elections, do you think they wouldn't be out there lobbying and voting and starting grassroots movement and voting actually? They're gonna lose billions of dollars because a president makes a law that gives you health care or puts up a wall or knocks a wall down or does something. You think that they don't care? Do you know any wealthy people? Do you know any billionaires? They get, oh my goodness, they're the cheapest people on the planet. Cheapest people on the planet. The first billionaire I ever met, the one that I knew that I met, we went to dinner and I paid my portion of the check. That's why I'm done with them. They're all psychopaths. Like you gonna make me pick up the check. You know how I work, right? I didn't say anything. I put my money on the table. Yeah, there, King of Prussia Mall. Yeah. If they actually voted, that means that voting matters. They care. They don't care. They have money. They don't care. They can buy every single politician, no matter the name, the shape, the color, the size. And if you actually find one that's got a heart that wants to do something for your country, they kill him. Okay? That's how the world works. That's how grown people talk. children, they play the game. I'm not into playing the game no more. All right, what else we got? Anything important? So yeah, it's not a heated debate, not for me. To me, it would just be a comedy show. I get some popcorn and I watch, and I'm like, you people don't really understand. All right, top 14 stories the media ignored. That was good. That was redacted tonight. The top 14 stories the media ignored. Let's look at that, because that's Brother Lee Camp. We got to take a peek at that. Here's another brother says the truth. No, always agree.
And by the way, this is the news.
He's controlled opposition. Everybody's controlled opposition. But he says a lot more truthful things than most people who have such a big voice.
With Rick Sanchez, where we cover the stories that everybody else ignores. And this is Lee Camp, who covers the stories.
Very true, unless it's Russia. And in Russia, they lie about everything because the Russian government's the closest to them, and it would murder them. They're not these people in RT because they live in America, but RT is in Russia. So RT can say the truthful things about America, but nobody in America, CNN, Fox, NBC, they can't say anything truthful about America because you got a police state here. So the Russians will kill the media there, and the Americans will kill the media here. Okay.
That we leave behind. How's that?
I get your scraps. You said
I
I
need
get
to
your
know the
scraps.
top story.
I love what you're going to talk to us about
So
today.
yes, tonight on Redacted Tonight, we are covering Project Censored's top 25 censored stories of the year. We get through as many as we can. Project Censored, independent, non-profit organization, and every year they do this. And so let's go through a few of them. Some of them you know quite well, such as 5G network health concerns.
We did that story.
You
Nobody else
definitely
did it,
that
and we got
story.
all kinds of
yes.
heat from it.
Yes, we did. Yes, we definitely
5G is a big story.
hit on that one. And, now there has been some larger outlets like Scientific American has also talked about how 5G has not been proven safe. So it is starting to get out there.
Number two.
Number two, the Israel lobby exposed.
We did that story.
The lobby was the name of that documentary that came out where they had undercover footage. And, of course, that thing was heavily suppressed.
Best coverage on that? Chris Hedges.
I didn't see it. I need to see it. It's called The Lobby. We need to watch it, and we need to talk about it. But 5G, the whole Israel lobby, this is consistent. These are important stories to hide. Why? Well, 5G is for the controlling of the human population. And I'm going to tell you my aspects of it. I'll tell you what I would do if I had a 5G. I would use 5G to raise healthcare costs. Why? Because sick people, they don't fight the government. I would use 5G to cause all kind of more plagues that the pharmaceutical industry has been doing and the water companies. I would use 5G for swarming robots in case y'all ever wanted to rise up. I would use 5G for flying drones, for creating a police state. 1984 is supposed to be an instruction manual. We got two political parties dumb as a bag of bricks not stopping it. And then there's a secret reason for 5G we know nothing about. And I think that gets back to MK Ultra, and they told us about the pharmaceutical side, and everybody loves to talk about that. Nobody talks about the actual other side of the MK Ultra project, which is people suspect it has to do with EMF, 5G electromagnetic frequency type control waves for human beings. And how does that fit to what I was looking at this weekend is from Nassim Harim. I think Ivana posted his name. Wise brother, I only seen 2 talks from him. But he talks about if consciousness is in the ethos, right? Consciousness is not in your head, it's out here. We know it's a signal. And they're rolling out a 5G that possibly could affect that signal. That's what I would do with 5G. And I would censor every story that came out relating to that, because I need y'all to fight with each other. And if, I'm not all the way on board thinking that they can make you do things with it. I don't think that's smart. I think that if consciousness is a signal, I think it's just the same thing with the biological. You want to use 5G to just disrupt people. All you got to do is make them angry and upset. All you got to do is make them depressed. All you got to do is give them a bad day, and you'll get bad activity out of them. That's what I would do if I were the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, and that's why I would censor the story. The whole Israel thing, we don't need to go through that, because we've already talked about that. Y'all know my position on that. I love the Jewish people. The Zionists have to be contained. You're not supposed to thou shalt steal, thou shalt loot, and thou shalt take land and consent, or thou shalt covet other people's lands. You can't steal land. We got enough to go around for everybody. We need to look out for the Jewish people, and we need to contain the Zionists. And that's a reason to curtail the story. Why? Because there's some Rothschild, billionaire, central bank, Rockefeller, somebody that wants Israel to happen. And so you got to sync all those stories, and you need to use every American president to make sure that you prioritize every life in Israel over every life in America. And that's just real talk, and that's why they censor it. And there's no difference between Obama and Trump on that. They both are beholden to whatever that is. And Brother Kevin, he talks about it a lot, and I have no idea what that is, but I like it every time I see it. They're like, go him, Jibberoo. I'm like, yeah, what he saying? Because he's like, Brother Tony, they do research on this stuff. I don't have time to research everything. I'll get the tip of it. And I realize people who are saying truthful things, and that's who you need to listen to. So those are two great top sentences.
On his show, On Contact.
And the Gray Zone put out some of that footage as well. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Trump's assault on endangered species. He's been gutting the Endangered Species Acts and various other agencies that are meant to protect them. And there's really been no coverage of it because corporate media apparently doesn't give a crap about dying animals around the world.
We didn't cover it either.
No, I missed that one as well. I did. Well,
I've seen it. I don't know why. I mean, well, you know what? It's probably my Facebook friends. I don't watch the media, but yeah, I've seen all the endangered species, and this is the problem with like worshiping these presidents and other adults, and you've grown as hell yourself, got gray on your face, but you're worshiping other people, is that, you're supposed to be a part of an ecosystem. And yeah, I mean, there's no question that, they took back that law. They couldn't hunt the elephants and I think the rhinos and the bear hunts in America. And I'm not against hunting, and I'm not against hunters. I'm a vegetarian. People got to live and they got to eat. But the ecosystem doesn't need any more problems from us. Right? They don't need it. The ecosystem doesn't need any more problems from our oligarchy, right? So maybe that was a big censored one, but I don't think it is. But I always default back to the point of, if you've got a nation of people that don't give two damns about children, they ain't gonna give 5, 7, 8, 9, or 1 damn about animals. And that's just the real story. I truly despise the Democrats more each day. Ivana, I don't despise them. I despise the system more each day. I don't despise the Democrats more each day. I laugh I laugh at the Democrats more each day. But that's only because the Republicans are in office. Give us another 4 years, another 5 years, and then I'll be laughing at the Republicans. Then it'll be the ones losing their mind. That's assuming we're still here, which is why it makes no sense why Avatar Part 5 is coming out in 2027, because they said we all gonna be dead by then. But that's another story. See, I don't think that was censored. I think the Democrats were yelling very loud on that. At least from my friends, I've seen a lot of that.
Well, I think they'd be gutting it quicker, except he's put such incompetent people in those roles that they don't know how to gut things efficiently.
Nobody knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
On that, one thing I will say, though, is so in gutting the rules and the whole EPA and all that stuff, the one thing that is censored is no one talking about it honestly. Does the EPA actually care about the environment? That's the question you need to ask on that story. Is the EPA protecting the environment? Or are they a division of oligarchy that are protecting the portions of the ecosystem that big corporations don't want to loot and frack and poison with the glyphosate and a new next poison? I think what they're doing is they're a gatekeeper. I think that you got great people in the EPA. So don't get me wrong, it's just like the pharmaceutical industry. Like all these industries, you got great people. The people are great. It's the industry that's broken. Right? I think they put enough good things that they do in the news, but behind the scenes, they take major amounts of money and orders from corporations that are destroying the ecosystems. And that's why you got every American child tested pissing out the popular, 11 pesticides, and some of them are carcinogens. That's a sign your EPA is not actually protecting the environment. That's not what I call protection. That's not what I call protect. That's not protection.
Exactly.
Okay, we shouldn't laugh.
2018, this next one is very lighthearted.
Right.
2018 Global Slavery Index, an estimated 403,000 people in the United States in modern slavery, which includes forced labor and forced marriage, and worldwide 40 million still in slavery.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's real talk, but he missed a lot of people. Missed a whole bunch of people. Forced labor. Who in America is in forced labor? Everybody that doesn't have millions of dollars in the bank. You can't quit your job. You are being forced to labor. So everybody, but some got it worse, which is a good report, right? You have real, full-blown slavery happening in the United States all over the place. They're called immigrants. They're called the poor, people born in trailer parks, people in prison. They're all kind of the organ harvest. They're all kind of the sex trafficking. There's all kind of slaves. That's why I don't care two damns about slavery from people who are dead, who aren't facing the sort of abuse that you, if you're dead, I love you to death. I do, I love you, and I'm sorry that you went through that. But we got people living through it right now. And you ain't got Democrats nor Republicans doing a damn thing about it. That should tell you everything you need to know about if you want to be in a relationship with them. And speaking of the other part, forced marriage, yes, because every church I've been into, they try to force me to marry. Every church I've been into, my friends try to, Lori, and so the people always trying to hook you up with somebody. People always trying to force you. I have no idea. So yeah, everybody, no, we still live in this stuff. We still live in it. That's why I'm not interested in you knocking down statues. And I appreciate Brother Travis saying what's truthful about knocking down the statues. You need to be more concerned about people in slavery right now. You need to be more concerned with mass incarceration. You need to be concerned with that slavery and your neighbors being forced to be. You need to be concerned about the driving trucks on the road, the robots. Did y'all know about that? Did y'all know about that? That's where Lori and Susan reckon. I got no kind of a life. So I was looking at the AI. Who was it? Frontline did a great I was gonna do a watch party. They did a great documentary on AI. I don't know the name of it, but if you put in Frontline AI, it'll come up. You know they got robot trucks already on the road, right? You know they got robot trucks on. They got robot trucks. It's on certain highways. I think it's out west. You got two companies. One's called Exit to Exit, and I forgot the other. The other one is called you all gonna die. The truckers about to lose all their jobs. That's just real talk. They're not waiting on you. But the trucks, my government wouldn't do that because the truck might run somebody off the road. Your government literally does not give a damn about you because you don't have one. You have an oligarchy. So you do what's profitable. It's profitable to get the goods from point A to point B. All right? So talking about some slaves, we are the slaves and we are being pushed out of our employment. That's the real story. And people without jobs, they tend to get a little moody, because people get hangry when they don't have food in their belly.
So that's incredibly crazy story that is not covered. Facebook, I'm sure you covered this, a now tool of the U.S. foreign policy.
No question.
We may
have overcovered it.
They have overcovered it, but...
Which is why I asked the question, what would you do if you own Facebook? There's no question. It's not Facebook, there's nothing wrong. This is why I don't have an issue with Mark Zuckerberg. You know what? If Mark knocked on my door, we go get a beer. People yelling and screaming and cussing at Mark Zuckerberg, that's fake news controlled opposition. That man just made a website. Yeah, CIA. Who cares? Shut up. The bottom line is these sites are owned by massive global interests, right? They know they can control people because adults take this stuff seriously. People take this gaming platform seriously. They determine who they're going to vote for. They determine what wars are good to go into. They determine it's okay for some to live and some to die, and what nations they agree with it. People are highly controlled by these platforms, so there's no way the kings and lords are going to let governments control them. These things are controlled higher than government, right? And of course that's kept secret. You know, that's why when I get blocked, I got banned. People like, oh my God, what did you do to get banned? You always talk about love everybody and just making jokes and just having fun. Yeah, I know, but if you notice, there's a purpose to my jokes. The purpose to my jokes is not to get people to laugh, but to get people to educate them on what actually is what's wrong with the world. And billionaires can't have that. Certain topics have to be censored. And so, absolutely. Now, if I had Facebook, what would I do? It was kind of a trick question because I do exactly what Mark Zuckerberg does. I would. I know. You're not going to like it. I would. I'd do exactly. I'd block me too. If I were Mark Zuckerberg, I'd block the hell out of me. Hell no. You might shoot. I might delete my profile. Why? Because most people vote for this. Most people consent to it. The 13th day of Christmas, my true love would give to me people not voting for oligarchy. But as long as the majority do, Mark Zuckerberg would be the dumbest man on the planet to not hand his platform over to, I think it's the Global Alliance. I might be saying that wrong. That NATO organization. But, you know, Lee talked about in his other video all the different organizations that control what is true on social media. I don't want to highlight Facebook. I'm just saying, if I'm a Mark Zuckerberg and the monkeys are doing what the monkeys doing, rolling up dookie balls and looking up people's anuses, smelling what's for lunch so they can go steal some bananas from another country, I would do exactly what he's doing. Now, if people started waking up and discovering consciousness and questioning secrecy in government, questioning the truth that every time you get one technology over your neighbors, they'll take that technology and beat them over the head with it, whether you're the Huns or Britain or France or Shaka Zulu or the Comanches. I would start talking about that if people started waking up. I would use that platform to try to free the human race. I would use that platform to talk about human rights type things. I'd prioritize that. But until people start waking up, nope. I would not take them on by myself. People who do that get killed. So if Mark Zuckerberg continued to perform duties of a CEO of Facebook and like encourage people to socialize in free speech ways, he would be with Martin Luther King right now. He would be with JFK, and he'd probably be right next to, who's that guy that's still in the concrete? They ain't found him. That's the joke. The mob, the guy who, they never found his body. They didn't put his body under foundation, a concrete, put a building on top of it. That's what people with money do. I forgot his name. Anyway.
You know, they came into that partnership with the Atlantic Council, which is a NATO-funded council, and they are now just a tool of U.S. foreign policy.
Whoever pays, we'll do business with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's people who kill. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
well, go on. I'm stealing your act here.
I want you to steal mine. The Justice Department targeting journalists. A 2015 memo of Eric Holder. So this is before Trump.
Right.
Eric Holder showing ways that the Justice Department could go after journalists, surveil them, and really
remember it well. Legitimate story.
No, Eric Holder would do that. He has black skin. Boy, you just the monkeys.
Yeah,
uncovered by the mainstream media.
Yeah, and it ruins the ability of journalists to do what they do, which is talk to people, you know. The indigenous are moving.
Journalists are enemy number one. Because journalists, they go out and they do pesky things like find truthful things and write journals. And you can't have that. Not when billionaires gotta kill monkeys and elephants and gorillas and ecosystems and frack and oil and keep a whole world locked into fossil fuels. You cannot have journalists talking like Stephen Greer. Oh goodness, didn't we do a good video? We did a great video this weekend when we talked about, what was that? Somebody sent that video where you had the general talking about free energy. Did y'all see that? Oh my goodness, you need to watch the video from this weekend. It was, how did we start that one? I forgot. He was talking about free energy, but the bottom line is, so now not only do you have hundreds of people who work with this technology acting as whistleblowers, you now have, there's at least one general, he was at a university, and I don't know who sent me that link, but he's telling us that we need to start using these free energy technologies because China is, that we need to build spaceships, battle spaceships because China is. And I think that's news. There's something that's happening there. Because when you got retired generals saying we have free energy technology, we could free the world, they're just refusing to, that's news. And now you got generals who are still employed in America finally telling people that, yeah, we didn't have free energy in a minute. And he started talking consciousness and other weird technologies. And this is stuff Nikola Tesla told us about a long time ago. And I found that to be interesting, and I'll tell you why. I found that to be interesting, one, because if they release free energy to the general public, nobody has to go to work. Frees the human race. We can focus on consciousness and doing things that are important, not rolling up dookie balls for being a doctor, lawyer, banker, financier, or whatever you do for a living that waste your life. It ends a forced labor camp. But two, the only reason they're releasing the fact that they have these technologies to build this space fleet and all the things they want to do is because China's doing it. That's it. They're not doing it because you vote. They're not doing it because they care about you. They're simply doing it because China is. China is pushing them into releasing technologies that they've had since the 1940s. And that is a great reason not to vote. That's why I always fall back on my default. My default is you cannot have secrecy in government anymore. You cannot have secrecy in big corporations because they've proven identity after identity, after civilization, after civilization, after government model, after government model. No matter what you come up, all political parties, all forms of control, and all power. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that to me, so I think that's huge. I think it's huge that you have a general speaking to a college telling them that they can use technologies that aren't even supposed to exist because China is. I think China is trolling in America in that fashion. Anyway.
To protect the earth, an area the size of Mexico, they've moved to protect down in South and Central America.
In Brazil.
Yeah.
And now in Bolivia as well. Yeah, we touched on that story as well.
This one's interesting, which I definitely did not hit on, but new community food systems for public schools, where rather than getting them from giant corporations, some public schools have done programs where they actually go out to community gardens, they get food for kids, it keeps the money in the community. But of course, your mainstream media is not going to cover that because guess who is all the ads on mainstream media? It's for Coke, Pepsi, Nestle, all those.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's criminal activity. That's criminal. You mean to tell me you got schools that are actually buying food from local farmers and feeding kids healthy, fresh tomatoes and cucumbers from Whole Foods that aren't full of pesticides and herbicides and all the carcinogens that the kids have, and that in the media is censoring that? Come on. That gets to be real obvious. That's why I think, children are the way. And you see what he's saying, right? And it's not nefarious. It's not that the media hates children. It's not that the government hates children. It's not that political parties hate children. It's just that they want to retire. And the best way to retire is to take the lobby money. So they take the lobby money from Monsanto. They'll take it from DuPont. They'll take it from Coca-Cola. They'll take it from whoever, Aramark, whatever big corporation is poisoning the children at lunchtime. They'll take it from them. And they come up with these dumb things. Y'all remember pizza is a vegetable? My son said that this week and I was laughing my butt off. Pizza, hey dad, he said pizza's a vegetable. Why? Because you got a pizza company that's bought your government, and your government, they just want retirement. They don't hate children, want to poison them. They just want to retire, and it's their job to do so. It's their job to take the money from the lobbyists and get a great retirement. And they're going to do it because you're still voting for them. So they're going to do it. That's why if I were them, I'd do the same thing that they would do. I'd do the same thing that all of these politicians do because that's what people want. And people consent to it. As long as you consent to it, why in the world would any of these politicians stand in the way of poisoning American children at lunchtime? That would be the dumbest thing that they could do because they would be fired the very next election. That's just real talk. Who was it, Jamie Oliver? Was it Jamie Oliver that was going around? He had that show where he was going around to American schools and showing how easy it would be to actually feed the children healthy so they don't have obesity and all the medical conditions and diabetes and all the horrible things that American kids have. He's not doing that no more, is he? Yeah, they sent his butt back to London. Where is he from, London to UK? Jamie Oliver? Yeah, that show didn't last long. He's going around showing the school system how easy it is, how the kids can think better, how the kids can do better schoolwork, and that's like, once again, that's my zone. When you start talking about doing something decent for the population, it's growing healthy food for them. That's what you should be using automation, robotics, and drone for, is feeding the population and feeding them healthy. Healthy people think better. Healthy people, they don't need pharmaceutical industries. They don't need the medications. They don't need CVS's and Walgreens on every corner. They discover consciousness. They don't become mass shooters. Healthy people. But sick people with illnesses and diseases, they're highly profitable. We can fit in that one. I said it a bunch of times. I say it one more time. That's the reason I don't work in corporate America, because my brain is not for them. I'm not here for them. I'm here for making the next generation better. We have enough robotics and automation to feed every child on this planet easily. and nobody has to pay because robots do it for free. But instead, we're going to use all the robots to put the robotic trucks on the road. Why? So Walmart can save by not having employees driving trucks. That's why. And Amazon can get your Christmas presents to you on time and not have to pay a monkey to drive.
And last but not least.
Last but not least.
Wait, drum roll.
The U.S. oil and gas has plans to release 120 billion tons of new carbon into the atmosphere.
Boom!
Already set it up for 2050.
Really?
By 2050.
And tell us again who this. You know, I have them on the top line of my Mac.
Project Censored.
Project Censored.
And then they put it in a book for them too. You can buy the book.
They tell you the stories that nobody else is telling you.
Yeah, except us.
Except for our team. Well, we missed a couple, or I did.
You're allowed to miss a couple.
Speak for yourself there, right?
But that's on Redacted tonight.
That's good stuff. Thank you. I'm going to look forward.
Project Censored. Follow them. I looked to see if there was a link for their Facebook or anything. I don't. Gerard, I have no idea about the next generation. I concentrate on each moment and have no idea what will happen in the future. Nobody does, Susan. All we can do is try to leave the planet better than how we found it and make sure that they have the things they need. When I think about the next generation, I don't want them to step in the poo-poo I stepped in. That's what I do. Let me show you. When I think about the next generation, I don't want them to do the bad things that I've had to do. I don't want them to have dating profiles. I don't want them rolling up doo-doo balls. I don't think that that's efficient. I think the next generation, we should focus on making the kids more collective and critical thinkers, not poisoning them, not having to do forced labor. Is that Brother John right there? Not having to have a Second Amendment. I mean, you need it. Now, I'm not anti-Second Amendment, but not having to need it. See, I'm not for guns everywhere, but I'm absolutely for the Second Amendment. Why? Because the kings and the lords have tanks and weapons and drones. And the dumbest thing you could ever do is disarm the poor people while the kings, big corporations, and governments are murdering people. And they got all these weapons. I want the next generation to feel so safe that they don't need weapons with bullets. Now, they probably need to have the bullets, but they have the gun on the wall. You know, we can do these things for the next generations. And that's why I tell people, like all the gun controllers, we need to get the guns off the streets. Then you need to stop scaring the population with your politics. That's how you get the guns off the street. That's all you do. You get rid of the all the political crimes, right? The vast majority of Americans are in prison for laws they don't even want. That's why they're in prison. There's a hint. But they're all political crimes. They didn't actually hurt anybody. They just did things that the people in control didn't want them doing, like growing plants or something. You know, and that's how you fight it. So when I think about the next generation, Susan, I just think about the poo that I stepped in. You know, and I want them to have the world we were promised. That's what I want. But that can only be taken down by principles. Right? We have to start standing on principles and stop standing on indoctrinated partisan impeachments. Stand on principles. Rape is bad across the board no matter who's doing it. Bribery is bad across the board no matter who's doing it. Unconstitutional laws are all bad all across the board, no matter who's doing it. And this is where I fall back on the whole Constitution thing. You know, was America set up to be a feudal country? Absolutely. You can tell by who was allowed to vote from the very beginning. The vast majority were not allowed to vote, and that includes the poor whites. So you shouldn't be fighting white people. That's stupid. It's ignorant. It was always set up for the kings, by the kings, of the kings. But the Constitution was right in a lot of places. And one was restraining the federal government. Like the whole purpose of the Constitution is to tell the federal government what it can do. That's it. I think that's called implicit. It just told it what it can do. That's it. It can't do anything outside of that. It can't have a war on drugs. It can't have an EPA. It can't have an FBI. It can't have private arms. It can't have anything. That's why when the bankers bought America in 1913 and 1933, when they rolled out the Federal Reserve Act, they suspended the Constitution. Why? Because they need to make as much money as they can to help America pay back the loan. And of course, America can't pay back the loan because they never printed enough money for them ever to. They had to suspend the Constitution because free people do free people things. You need a slave colony for these big corporations and government. I think the Constitution had it right. You have you don't want to say, hey, king, that you hate kings, lords, federal government. You can go make whatever laws you want. You tell them, say, no, you can only make laws dealing with international war and interstate trade. And that's all you can do, and tariffs. And that was it. That was it. They have no other powers. All this other crap they created is all treason. It's all unconstitutional. So that's what I want for the next generation. I want them to be free. I don't want them to have to look in other monkey anuses. I don't want them to have to look in Bolivia for lithium. I don't want them to have to topple Venezuela for oil. I don't want them to have to beg or blow up and be okay with blowing up other nations where children live because they don't have enough food to eat or they want jobs. You know, I want peace for the next generation. And we can do that. We have the automation and the robotics to do it. We're just not doing it. All countries are inherently feudal. Ooh, that is the point of creating a country. Exactly, Beaufont. The very basis, and this is what I'm talking about. Principle. The very basis of government is feudal. It's a pyramid control, and they hand it down to their next generation. Outside of the fact that we're the worst one because we're an oligarchy, they're all feudal. It's all about controlling you, because we continue to vote and consent for it. And there are other ways to consent. As long as we give them consent, we're going to still live in a feudal model. And I don't want that for the children. I don't think it's a good idea to give all the power to a few because they got all the jewels. I think that's a dumb idea. Because they hand down the corporations, they hand down the money, and our kids are enslaved to the same people we are. That's stupid. That's stepping in a pile of poo and handing it down. But exactly what Beaufont said, standing on principles, right? When you understand the whole purpose of a country isn't to free the people, it's to make a slave colony. Then you can start to think appropriately. Imagine our grocery stores without the middle aisle filled with food substitutes. Exactly. Ooh, who's that? Oh, hey, nuts, what's going on? Nuts, nutty. Exactly, right? And this is getting back to the truth of, the grocery stores. The real food is on the outside of the grocery stores, right? That's where the real food is. Everything because that's where they need refrigerators, because real food breaks down in the environment. All the fake processed, GMO-filled, pesticide, poison is in the dried areas in the center where there's no power. Absolutely. We gotta feed people health. We definitely gotta feed the next generation more health. That's what I want for them. I want them to have real food, not food companies that lie to them because they bribe politicians and buy the laws. It's a bad idea. And we're growing poisonous food. CNN brags about beauty pageant sponsors choosing. CNN is a war criminal. So yeah, I don't care. CNN brags about beauty pageant sponsors choosing all black winners. Oh, Lord. You know why they do that? Oh, goodness, yeah. You know why? Because number one, that's literally called racism. And it pisses off other people. And I think that's stupid. So I'm not gonna click on that. But the fact that they brag about it's not surprising, right? Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to get you upset about skin color. And as long as they can get you upset about it, I just look at it like CNN is a war criminal and a racist company. They've always been. They're going to do whatever makes money. And it's not like they're racist. It's just racism makes money. So they're going to be racist, right? War makes money, so they're going to be for war. Right now, Coke is paying the most, so Coke tastes better than Pepsi. That's just who they are. It's what they're going to do. Kevin asked, who owns the media? What is it, 7 or 8 corporations now? But wait a minute. Didn't Disney bought Fox? So that number changed. But like very few companies, 7 or 8, whatever it is now, they own like 80 or 90% of the media. That's why you can't trust anything in the media. Who owns the companies? Who owns Disney and Time Warner Brothers and AT&T, these massive corporations? The billionaires. Billionaires and I think they call them trillionaires now, right? They own it. So they're not going to allow on their media anything that's going to break their profit structures. Like they're not going to allow a politician to win an American election that would actually change anything in their world, anything profitable to their corporations. They're not going to allow that. They didn't allow it from JFK. They're not going to allow it today. That's why you got to stop believing the lie. I don't know who that is, but something about golf in the hole. But golf is an interesting thing. More decisions on the federal level are made on golf courses than are ever made in some election. That's the real talk. You're not gonna like it, but that's just true. Money makes the world go round. The people with money own the banks and the golf courses. More decisions are decided on golf courses than they are in the media. The media is just for show. It's just for television. It's designed to get you upset and emotional so you don't think like an intellectual. That's all it is for. Oh, Epic Surfing Wipeout is Jaws' big wave event. What? Did the shark go for somebody? Where Rebecca at? One of Rebecca's sharks get out of her swimming? I gotta see that. I'm sorry. That's important. Impeachment is not important. This is important. I know it's gonna make you upset, but Trump doesn't scare me. What scares me is this system. The system that supports genocide, slavery, rape, and war for profit, and child trafficking. That bothers me. And the fact that we focus on identity and not that system, that's the problem. And so if we take attention off of the actual problem, it's like being a pharmaceutical company. We're focusing on the side effect, not the actual problem. Focus on the principle. Trump is a dude. He's literally a side effect. And half of my friends who voted for him, they were just trolling the system, right? So I don't really care about who Trump is or what's going on with him. I care about the fact that we have a system that allows for all people to be poisoned every single president administration. And until we focus on the principle, you might as well be a pharmaceutical company. You're making profit with disaster capitalism, arguing about a president to keep the system. And that's exactly what they want people to do. They want people focused on the side effect, not the root problem. That's how the pharmaceutical makes its profit. That's how these political parties make profit. They focus, and it goes both ways. It's not a Republican-Democrat thing, because the Republicans did it the other time around. They focused on Obama's ears and his birth certificate and all of the silly stuff. Michelle, is Patricia here? But Michelle has a bulge in her pants. All of the dumb stuff. Everything that completely won't change anything. They tried to impeach Obama. Same thing. Because they want to keep the system. As long as you have a system, like here's a point. Something I posted this weekend. I forgot the quote. I messed up my own quotes because my brain is just doing things. If you have a government that always selects profit over people, you don't have a government. That's a business. Okay? If you have a government that always selects profit over human life, that's not a government. That is a business. That is not for humans and not for humanity. That's for profit. Until you address that, people will die and bank accounts will get filled up. People, we have to focus on principles, not apathetic, selective, egoism, drama, where presidents put their penises 10 years ago. Nobody with wisdom cares. The only thing we care about is we collectively grow the hell up and stop arguing side effects. All right? Stop arguing side effects. Took me a while to get here, though. Took me a while. I wasn't always here. I was in the guiding light, General Hospital, emotional, ego-driven debates with the political. I used to be. I'm not now. The shame is it took me so long to wake up. I asked that question this weekend. How old were you when you realized America was an oligarchy? And that who's the president is doesn't matter. Who's in Congress doesn't amount to a hill of beans in China. People were like, oh, they saw when they were, somebody said it was when they were 12. Came here from Mexico. So when I came here from, I think it was Augustine said that. It's Augustine. So when I came here from Mexico, I realized the American politicians are just as corrupted as the ones in Mexico. They're just more successful at it in America. He's like, I realized then. Like, that's how the world works. It's broken. I have friends from Russia who came here. Said the same thing. Got to America. Why is more opportunity? Government's corrupt as they are in Russia. And Americans are more successful, so I came here. There's more opportunity, so I came here. But it's the same corruption all over the world. That's why the whole world has to stand up against the principles. The principles, not the people, not the parties. Because the people and the parties are all side effects of the principle that we allow human beings' lives to be taken for profit. That's where you get a big pharmaceutical company. That's where you get a DEA. That's where you get a police state. That's where you get war from. You know, we got to stop cannibalizing people, and we got to stop letting them drive the discussion. All right, what is this? We're looking at the waves with sharks. I don't know. We're gonna look at the sharks. Something important, not a side effect. So I kind of close my ears to the side effect debates when it gets emotional and people. Yeah, and it's real. It's real. I don't judge people who are still fighting in the side effects, right? I used to. But I think the more you start to take into account what everybody's dealing with, the less you get pulled into the side effect emotional debates, the more you do more root cause analysis and critical thinking. Yes, who's that, James? Sharks do rule. except for when Rebecca's around. Don't ever go swimming with Rebecca and her husband. They go swimming with sharks, y'all. That's crazy. They got, I'm not going to. Anyway, let's see what's going on. World of sports. I don't even like sports, but I like sharks. I want to see. Oh no, this is all sports. I want to see the waves. I want to see the shark.
Went forward on the men's side, where a panel of judges scored each ride on a scale of 1 to 10. Each of the surfers' best two waves are counted with their best single wave score doubled. Kemper notched a 7.83 on his first wave of the finals there, and a 5.60 on his second.
That's what I want the next generation doing for a living. I want them doing the things that they love doing. I want them to be free. Nobody should have to make money to surf. If that's what the kids want to do, that's what they should be doing. Why? Because happy people make happy communities. Happy communities make happy regions. Happy regions make happy nations, and happy nations make a happy world. Pleasant people doing pleasant
Hawaii
things.
native won back-to-back titles for the second.
I guess it's called Wipeouts at Jaws Big Wave. Okay, it's no Jaws, no sharks. I was hoping it's gonna be some sharks. I wanted to see, like, as the surfers are coming down, you see the shark in the wave. I wanted to see that, but I guess I read it wrong. But that's the world we want to live. We want a world where the kids are free to do the things that they want to do. And we're not gonna get there if we're constantly being driven by the side effect discussions. Oh, is that brother? That's Kelly. Oh, okay, James Thornton. Okay, sharks rule. Yes, they do. They do rule, which is why I don't swim in the ocean. They rule. I don't swim in the ocean. Oligarchs rule politics. That's why I don't swim in politics, because they rule. They rule, and I ain't stupid. I know what they do. They eat people. They eat people for lunch. All right. Crazy bastards. Yeah, they are crazy, Kevin. Oh, you know what I heard, Kevin? I got any surfers here? I got one or two of them. There's some place that you go where they like take a boat out and they go out like 2 miles because you have these immense. Is it this right here? They have these immense waves that come in and they ride the wave in for like 2 miles. That's insane. And I never do it. I'd love to see it, but I ain't. Nope. I got my fear. Things in the. Once again, we don't have a NASWA. A NASA, not a NAWA. When we got a NAWA, we need somebody lying about what's under the ocean. We got people lying about what's in space and how they get there. Ooh, and that's a good point. If you look at that, the general, which isn't a whistleblower, it's a funny thing, he's still employed, who's saying we have the technology to make massive spaceships for Space Force. He's being honest with you. The things that NASA is just fake news. They got to take Rockefeller fossil fuels and put them in a ship and send a rocket up in space. The whole SpaceX, all of that stuff is fake news. NASA, that's what NASA uses because they want to convince us that's the real world. They have technologies that China apparently is deploying that the U.S. Pentagon wants to deploy now. And they're only admitting up to it, not because they want to help the people, because they're tired of their citizens dying from starvation because they don't have enough money in the bank. They're just doing it because China's doing it. And to me, that's kind of insane that your government doesn't release technology to you until it threatens them. They don't release free technology. They don't release free energy. They don't release technology when you not having it threatens you. When your life is threatened, when you're working so hard that you eat junk food and out of a vending machine, it ends up you getting cancer and leukemia and Alzheimer's, ruining your quality of life and dying at the age of 40, so nobody's there to raise your kids. They don't care about it when it's you. But when it affects the power system, when China starts building these massive free energy ships that who knows where they got them from, then your government releases to you. That's how you know you don't have a government. You have rulers. You have owners. They own you. And the government's just employed by the staff of the owners. All right, keep going. A new global concern. Oh, we got a new global concern. Let me see if I'm concerned about this. What's the new global concern? Knowing fact from opinion, do you? Why should I be concerned about that? What is this about? What is this nonsense about?
Why can't 15-year-olds distinguish fact from opinion? Even when they're given the source, where it came from. And are we not thinking the way that we used to, or are we not being taught to think the way that maybe we used to? Just questions. What do you think? Joining us now is somebody who's still not too far removed from her education years.
This could be interesting. Hang on. This could be interesting, right? Because, yeah, that is a problem. People who can't tell fact from opinion, right? It is a fact that every president has done what Donald Trump is doing. It is a fact that the next president will do what Donald Trump did. It's a fact that America is an oligarchy, and it's opinion that getting him out will change anything. Yeah. We need critical thought. It's a fact that the political parties 98% of the time all do the same thing. It's a fact that we bomb children. It's a fact that we've toppled other nations. Yeah. This might be important. Go on, Michelle, tell me.
Oh, come on.
You're young, can I say? Michelle Greenstein joins us. She's been drilling down on this for quite some time. All right, this is a fascinating conversation. What'd you find out?
Well, essentially what we're learning is that performance in U.S. teenagers with regard to reading and math has been stagnant since the year 2000. And as you mentioned, only 13.5% of U.S. teenagers are able to distinguish between facts and opinions when they're trying to interpret these complex reading tasks. Now, this is the result of a program for international student assessment called PISA, and this is out of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or the OECD. Now, 600,000 students participated in this test in 2018 from 79 countries. And this represents about 32 million children, 15-year-olds overall. Now, in 2018, the focus of this test was reading, and this is a focus that changes about every 3 years. But the test was a multi-stage adaptive approach, which means that the student is assigned a bunch of questions, and if they do well on a question, then the next question gets harder. And if they perform poorly, the next question gets easier. Now, the results showed that overall, only 1 in 10 students were able to distinguish between fact and opinion. This is worldwide, not just in the U.S. Based on these implicit cues that they receive when they're reading, which the OECD says may not be easy, but is what our digital world around us is based increasingly today. Now, a lot of this does have to do with socioeconomics. In the U.S., the performance gap between the better off socioeconomic students and the more disadvantaged socioeconomic students was 99 percentage points, and the OECD average is 89 score points. And just to compare, in China, the country that actually did the well on this PISA exam, the socioeconomically advantaged students outperformed the disadvantaged students, again, just a little bit less in by 82 percentage points.
Reasons. Let's talk about those.
Sure.
One, perhaps the fact that we really don't have real communication anymore. How few times people actually discuss things so they're able to figure out enthymines, for example, logic, for example. That's no longer a part of the curriculum as well. And if they do happen to watch news or read news, they're going to get mostly opinion. 3 reasons I came up with. What are yours?
There are a number of factors here, and there are a number of trends that are going on worldwide. You could say that the increasing prevalence of electronics may be playing a role. You could say that teachers, especially in places like the U.S., who are maybe not as well paid,
hanging. Don't know why. Epstein accusers face death threats on it. Wait. What's this? Let's try another one. Yeah, that's your tongue. People are threatening Epstein accusers? I'm hanging too. Okay, that's it. That's that net neutrality working for you. That was the whole purpose of net neutrality. Like, okay, yeah, they even did enough. That's enough. That's it. Nope. She's off. Well, let me try this. Let's see if we got some gremlins in the system and reset. But for the most part, I think they're saying that's it, brother. You said enough. That's good. You said enough. Now you going back to it.
Hello there, I'm Manila Chan. You're watching In Question, broadcasting live from RT America National Headquarters in Washington, D.C. Today, we're following two big stories, one right here in the U.S. and the other happening across the pond. First, here in D.C., a House Judiciary Committee has voted to approve articles of impeachment against President Trump. So is the presidency now hanging in the balance? And can Trump overcome this political firestorm? But on the other side of the pond, it's a day of celebration for British Prime Minister when there's no prosecution and therefore then that move comes despite earlier objections from the White House. For years, Turkey has pressured the U.S. not to use the word genocide to describe the slaughter of an estimated 1.5 million ethnic Armenians between 1914 and 1923. Turkey disputes those numbers and denies the murder. Deep dive into Prince Andrew's relationship with the late financier. His ex-wife, Duchess Sarah Ferguson, is breaking her silence, telling press that this has been incredibly difficult for her and her family, and she's opening up about Epstein's ties to the royals. Meanwhile, Virginia Giuffre is now being warned by the FBI of some credible death threats. So joining us to break it all down, attorney and legal analyst Lionel of Lionel Media. Lionel, how critical and obviously essential witnesses such as Virginia Giuffre, how are they supposed to be protected when there's no prosecution and therefore then no witness protection program?
That's precisely correct. In fact, maybe if we called her, Manila, a whistleblower. You know, I want to remind people that there are very, very serious concerns. And we're not just talking about memes. But sometimes, Manila, believe it or not, memes have a basis in reality. Yeah. You have a woman, a young woman, who is basically at the core, a critical, pivotal witness in what could be the biggest, most far-reaching sex trafficking cases of history, implicating not just numbers of people, but the who's who, blue chip, royalty, literally, rock, Hollywood, whatever. And to think that this woman is telling people, I'm getting threats. I'm going to be asking now the question you and I have been asking for, I don't know, months now. Why hasn't there at least been a grand jury and a charge of a parking ticket? Do you mean Ghislaine has absolutely no criminal complicity? And I don't want to keep bringing up the impeachment because the two have nothing to do with each other. But Manila, it goes to show you when we change our priorities, we can find anything anywhere. And this woman has to basically say, hey, I'm under a threat. Please, pay attention. Yeah. I've got threats against me. Who's protecting her?
Yeah, and the FBI coming forward and saying, yeah, these threats are actually credible. But, they're just, no one's standing by Virginia's side except for her attorneys. So, Lionel, on that note of speaking of death, what is with this new spate of this, I will not commit suicide, these public pronouncements? What's going on with that?
Absolutely. People are doing it more and more, especially those people who, perhaps might be sometimes, let's face it, whenever somebody wants to dismiss your sense of being threatened, they say, you're paranoid, or it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
At the same time, they always tell you if you see something, say something. But we're seeing this oftentimes. People are actually going out and telling friends. It's almost like leaving papers with your lawyer, do not resuscitate, or to have a medical alert, I'm allergic. People are actually going out saying, in case just as Google now is a verb, if I'm Epstein, and this is a very serious concern because nobody, with the exception of Bill Barr, believes this man committed suicide. So not only is this young woman, instead of saying, you have nothing to worry about, you are the most protected person on the face of the earth, no, she's telling people, listen, I'm not committing suicide. If you find me dead, I didn't do it.
Right.
Help me, help. I mean, how horrible is that?
Well, how horrible to live under these circumstances. So, Lionel, has social media helped that cause, hurt it? I mean, how does social media play into this?
Absolutely. Vanilla, who thought that this stupid Twitter, whatever this stuff is, with hashtags and memes and is actually your portal, your entree into your own media system. And let me also tell you, which is very interesting about this. When you have right now people saying, help me, be careful, there is something about this which is very, very disheartening, because if you're the next Virginia, if you're the next whoever, the next Giuffre, the next person, and they say, listen, I want to come out, but are you going to give me this is your number one witness, and she's saying they're going to kill me, help me, and you want me to come forward, leave my life, and help out. You haven't even charged anybody. I mean, it gets
right, Lionel,
beyond.
And these are women that have been through so much trauma already tied to this high-profile, very high-profile case. And then, speaking of high-profile people, what about Fergie? The British media, I mean, really stepping up on this deep dive with the focus on Prince Andrew for obvious reasons. Shouldn't Fergie at this point keep her mouth shut, since we all know it's been made public for a long time now? She received money in the way of personal loans from Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, precisely. Where is the Queen? Why isn't there some edict that says nobody in this family, believe me, do you know who I am? Do you know what we're capable of? If I hear any of you, if you're a 32nd rung cousin down the line, dear God, and the last thing this man, and I feel nothing for him, this man who, by the way, doesn't sweat, but sure is sweating lately, the last thing in the world he needs, because Manila, what you do is you play on people's amnesia. We are the United States of amnesia. We have the attention span of a gnat. So if you just wait. So what is she doing? Because why? She's like a moth to the flame. I need this attention. And even if it re-energizes this attention, the last thing, and by the way, bigger people than Prince Andrew want her to shut up. It's, thank God for us to talk about, but it's mind-boggling. This is the opposite of damage control. It's damage creation.
Well, Lionel, Fergie was there for a lot of this, so I think a lot of people know that her brain has got a lot of details, and we want to hear it. So we will see. This keeps on going, keeps unfolding. And Lionel, we know you're going to be there to break it all down for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
The bits and pieces of it that we can see. Just remember that. It's always the bits and pieces of it that we can see. There's always a lot more is going on. It makes it out in the media, and I don't really go too far off on what we see in the media, right? Because it's in the media. So the way my brain works with that whole critical thought thing that seemed like it was freezing, trying to teach kids critical thought, is kings and lords are never going to give you the tools that you need to take them out of power. They're never going to give you the whole story. They're always going to give you just enough of the story to keep the real powerful people in power. The whole Epstein Island thing could blow up I mean, what if it took down the entire American government? Top to both political parties and the royals and the British government. It's still going to keep the people in power. The people in power dictate what's in the media. It's in the media, parts of it can be true, obviously, but they're never going to tell the full truth, because the king, why would the king ever tell on himself? The king would never do that. The powerful people that actually run this world always use patsies. And yeah, they'll use an entire nation's government as a patsy. They'll use anything as a patsy they need to keep you believing in the system. So I find it to be interesting, but I find it to be interesting that people are still supporting royals and political parties and politicians and CIAs and FBIs and MI6s and who don't ever do anything against the powerful people. Right? That's how you determine that those systems aren't there for you. They don't actually do anything for you. They do everything to support the people that are doing things to you, mostly things that you don't like. So I think it's important there. But as far as like, it's kind of like guiding light General Hospital. You know, it's like, I never really know what's going on. You got to wait till the next episode. They just need to keep you to watch. They need you to continue to watch. Get out there and fight the other people. Right? 98% monkeys. 98% monkeys. They just need you to keep tuning in. When you tune in, the show gets canceled. Think about it that way. That's why I watch it. I'll kind of laugh at it. I might try to make an analysis out of it, because it's interesting to know if JR is cheating on Christine with somebody else. And, it's interesting, but it's entertainment. And for the next generation, like we just talked about, I want the show to get canceled. I think we need to cancel forced labor as a model for the world. I think we need to cancel that show. I think that slavery is always bad. Let's do some comments to get out of here. East is 6, yes. Actions are what matters. That's all that matters, Lori. Absolutely, all that matters. They invented language. I like how somebody says it. So they invented language to hide emotion and to lie. Right? They invented language to lie to you. Actions no longer mattered after they had language. Now they could talk about what they were gonna do or what they did, and you'll trust that over seeing the results of the actual action or seeing them do it. I don't trust words at all. It's insanity that anybody else does. I could probably drop in and watch General Hospital after 20 years and still follow the plot. Much like politics today. Nothing changes. Do y'all hear what Susie, you're Sharon is telling you? Do you hear? Please tell me you understand. You can contemplate what she's telling you. It has not changed. And it's not, you know what I could do, Sharon? I could probably drop in on Dallas and Hillcrest. I could drop in on Young and the Restless. I could probably drop in on Guiding Light. And it'd probably be like the same crotchety actors. They probably don't look too much different, but it'll be the same drama. Impeachment. The same drama. War for oil. The same drama. Terrorism. The same. They'll change the names. They'll change the presidents. They'll change the wives. They'll change the mistresses. But it's always the same damn thing. Mass incarceration. A new drug the DEA has to schedule one to protect the public. But they're not protecting the public from 5G. They're not protecting the public from pesticides and chemicals, the real controlled substances that are murdering people. They're not doing any of that. If I ever saw the DEA schedule 1 5G, we might have something. They need to schedule 1 4G. If they schedule 1 the pharmaceutical industry, when you gonna do something that actually is different, that I know has something to do with me? When you gonna schedule 1 lying politician? When you gonna schedule 1 politician spending billions of dollars overseas while their own citizens die? When you gonna schedule 1 that? They don't schedule 1 that. They only schedule 1 the things that help you. That's the whole purpose of Schedule 1. When you gonna schedule 1 sugar? I asked that question this weekend. I tried to get in trouble a little bit. Like, when y'all gonna schedule 1 sugar? What kills more? Cheddar cheese, sugar, or cannabis? Or not, better yet, cheddar cheese, sugar, or everything on Schedule 1. I guarantee you, sugar kills more than every dangerous compound on Schedule 1, because sugar is far more dangerous. But sugar has a great lobby. Sugar has big corporations and causes cancer, and it grows cancer and all kinds of other things. So of course, sugar is safe and effective. Safe and effective. Psychedelic drugs, no medicinal value to the 1%. None at all. So let's get Schedule 1. But yeah, it doesn't change, Sharon. Does not change my whole life. And I believed it. My whole girl, I was done. Listen, I think I'm kind of smart, but I was, oh boy, when it came to politics, well, I was just dumb as a bag of bread. I believed the whole thing. I was watching the story. I couldn't wait to tune in, Sharon. Couldn't wait to see what's Christine gonna do today? What did JR do today? What's happening on Hillcrest? What happened? Who's cheating on who? What's happening? Ooh, this is real. And it was all just fake fantasy and phony. And it's time we grow up. So I appreciate the people who like figured this stuff out and started speaking on it. Hey, Kevin, go on, speak on it. When's alcohol gonna get Schedule 1? Alcohol has no medicinal value. Well, that's not totally true. Wine does. But beer, the things that make people violent and crazy and drive like they're fools, doesn't cause any form of consciousness or thought. Like, there's a difference between, I've never done what they call an illegal drug in my life. I've never done a Schedule 1 drug. But if I did, I wouldn't tell you. No, but honestly, I never have. I'm just a proponent of freedom. But I find it interesting that most of my friends say the things on Schedule 1 expand your mind. They make you into critical thinkers, like they were talking about with the school system. They teach you to question who you are. And that's the exact opposite of what they need you to do. They need you to embrace the lies of who they made you. Why? Because they need you in tribalism. They need you in monkey fights. They need you digging into somebody's anus. They need you looking for bananas by finding the map, the GPS location, and see if he was eating some delicious bananas and what tree they came from. That's what they need you doing. And that's why alcohol is not Schedule 1. Because all it does is it soothes pain. That's what antidepressants do. That's what a lot of the pharmaceutical drugs do. They treat the side effect of forced labor. They keep your depression, but they make you feel better about the model that keeps you depressed. It's profitable. You questioning who you are, that's not profitable. You questioning the team that you were put on because of your skin or your nation or where you were born, they need you to keep in conflict over your birth location. Because that's what all human conflicts are about. They're all over birth location. The most ignorant thing that you could ever think of. Why do I hate them? Well, because they were born over there. That's why I hate them. That's why it's okay to drop buildings on their babies, because they were born over there. That's it. They were born in a different body, not mine. Apathy. And that's what the whole Schedule 1's for. Don't forget to smoke your Flintstone vitamins. I took all my Flintstone vitamins before. I took all of them. My mom and my babysitter gave me all my Flintstone vitamins. And now we know vitamins don't work. The very guy who created the vitamins, he said for the first vitamin, they don't actually work. That you need to take those minerals and supplements with the fats and other things that are found in the vegetables and the things that they get them from. That a lot of them don't even work. And now they got the synthetic cheap ones that are at the atomic level, the atomic structure, not even the same thing as the vitamin C, the vitamin K, or whatever else they're selling. That's the world we live in. Oh Lord. Bofa, what's wrong with you, man? Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. That's right. Exactly, Sharon. We're going to end on that. Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Why? Because you get your decoder pen. It'll help you figure your world out. If you tune in again next episode, boys and girls, you get your secret decoder pen, and the Democrats are going to tell you what's wrong with the world, except for the fact that they work with the Republicans to break the world. The Royals are going to save you from pedophilia. Wow, they're okay keeping pedophiles all over the family. This is the show, and it's how it go. Wait. I'm missing some YouTube. Citizen Deb stopped up. No, I was about to drop out. I can't because I left y'all on the side on YouTube. Stopped my own abuse at 17, but hadn't told anyone about it because I thought I was gonna be okay. That is until threats started, not just against me, but also against my boyfriend. So I told, in case something happened. Absolutely, and that's what you have to do. But you shouldn't have to live in that. You shouldn't have to live in that world, citizen. That's obviously not anything a government would allow that actually gives a damn about you. No protection was offered me, at least not unless I prosecuted, but I refused to do that. I just wanted to be safe and for it all to end. My father was a scary guy. That all happened in '82. Never really felt safe until he died in '09. And Citizen Dev, stories like that, and I appreciate you saying that. Stories like that are why I give a damn. Because I didn't know. I had no idea. I grew up too privileged to know the things that some of us have done against others. And some of the stories I've heard my friends say that I can't even repeat. Some of the things that have been done to women, and we can't live in that world. We shouldn't live in that world. We should. Don't we want a world where little girls don't have to worry about that? They don't have to worry about dad or stepdad or politician or one of the lords or some stranger on the street. Don't we want a world where all of this technology, because technology is technology. You can use all this technology to actually watch out for children, or you can use this technology to watch out for the elites that are doing this to children. Like, aren't we sick of this? Aren't we finally getting sick of finding out what happened to Jamal Khashoggi, because he's Jamal Khashoggi, friends of billionaires, and not little girls who we can use these cameras to make sure they're not being abused. You can use the, what do they call it, Alexa and the Google things, the listening devices to listen in, to find out what, and I'm not, this whole privacy thing. I think that, you know what, I think I'm gonna change the stance on something. Like, I agree that it's good to have privacy. It is good to have privacy, absolutely good to have privacy. It's stupid to have a government that has privacy and the citizens have none. But it's obvious when the government has total privacy and the citizens have no privacy, and people are still being abused and raped in these houses, and they hear and see and use everything to sell you ads on YouTube, Google, Facebook, all over, but they don't use that technology to stop rape and abuse and murder and people screaming out in the night. I'm okay to give my privacy up. I'll be honest with you. If little girls are being raped by their fathers, stepfathers, boy from mom's boy, whatever's happening, kids being abused, little boys too, if they're being raped by these people, these monsters, and you got all this technology that can listen in on them and know what's happening, I give up my privacy. You can have my privacy. You can have all of it. The government can't keep theirs. I say give up all the privacy until abuse stops happening. When people stop being abused and we're that level of sentient, then people can have privacy back. Corporations and governments can never get that. That's my stance. You know, it had nothing to do with the Constitution, Bill of Rights. It has to do with principles, right? If children don't have what they need, then no adult should have what they want. That's what I believe. I totally believe that. I think we should give up our privacy, but not to these governments, because the governments don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about these kids. They don't give a damn about any of this stuff. And nobody should have to live in fear. All right, I gotta get going. We can build a better world. We just have to choose to. You know, we have to choose to. We got to stop being in conflict with one another and actually tell whatever this is over us. We ain't gonna do it no more. Walk away. Stop watching the show. When you stop watching the show, they cancel it. We need to cancel the show and write a script for a whole new show where the kids are free and we do collective things around the planet. No new world order, one new world unorder. We don't need the king's order no more. All we need to do is grow the hell up and use technology to make sure that people live beautiful lives. Every child born on the planet, they're not born into debt where they have to serve the elite, the people who have more jewels or a cabal. That they shouldn't be in fear of the adults because we finally made all this technology. All their ancestors created all these sensors and servos and circuit boards and cameras to make sure that they would be safe in the next generation. You do that by you open source the world. You end all patents and you start utilizing technology for the benefit of the human race, no longer to rob other people and steal. from other people that are in your human race. All right, I gotta get going. This is Gerard. Y'all have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining in. Wait, here's Adam. I didn't see Adam. Let me get the last Adam. Adam said something. Adam Hammond, welcome. But they don't use your taking your privacy for the purpose to matter what your intent in giving up yours will be. They will use it to victimize others. And that's all they do, Adam. That's all they do. That's all they do. And that's my point, right? 1984 wasn't supposed to be an instruction manual. If you know your government's here for you, they would do the things that sync up with the value of the human freaking race. So I'm not about give up our privacy to the current government. Let me clarify. The current government has to go back to hell where once it came. See, we have people in the FBI, the CIA, and all these groups that are amazing people, just like the pharmaceutical, like all industries. People are just people. They got kids and they got fears. We need to somehow take their heroic need, because a lot of people went into these forms of employment to be heroes, and give them the tools to be heroes, not the control. Because you know what? You made me think about something, Adam. Now we say free to teachers, they're professionals, let them teach. Free to doctors, let them heal, let them go back to being doctors. They don't need these control structures over top. They don't need the AMA, they don't need the Department of It. They just need the resources to do the things that they are professionals and they have a passion to do. Same thing with these Homeland Securities and FBIs. We need to give them the tools and take their privacy, but we need to give them the tools and not the control structure to force them to use it for elites and government and let them go off and be the heroes and protect the children, which is what they've always wanted to do. I know those kids. I know the guys who signed up for the police. I'm not one to say, hey, fight the police. I just believe police shouldn't exist. But as long as we need them and they are professional, we need to empower them to do heroic things as professionals and take away their central form of management. Because when you give a central point of failure in any system, that's how you dominate the system. But it's also how you break the system. That's what I'm for. That's what I'm for. So anyway, Eddie going. This is Gerard. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Monkeys. 98% monkeys. Happy Monkey Day. Monkey Monday.